Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster
What's
Podcast. It's a surprise podcast.
What was going on before this podcast?
We were watching the video.
You were like, you're on B! B! I don't know what was going on, you're just yelling.
We were having some technical problems with my earpiece.
Too quiet about 100 times.
Too quiet! We're on B! Hey, it's a podcast. That's how that went. That's how the beginning of this podcast went.
I like, by the way, that you just threw that shirt on too.
Well, the thing is, I haven't washed the shirt yet.
See
And
the other shirt coming out.
they come off the printer really stinky. So I have to...
Smells like chemicals.
If you wear it against your closed body, it
Don't say that
it
about
like
our merch.
activates the smell. So
Well,
I'm wearing it.
smells
these are the
great.
prototype shirts. That's the way they are.
Right.
Because we have special shirts that are specially printed
is the,
for our modeling and promotional photos.
This is the Team Happy Bomb shirt. So
Team Happy Bomb.
Hello, Team Happy Bomb.
There's also one right behind me.
Team
Played on a
Nice
much more
Dynamite.
buff model.
Available tomorrow, I think. in
Available
stores.
tomorrow as part of T-Shirt Tuesday.
Hey, who's on this podcast?
It's Gus
Gavin
Bye, brah.
Bernie, and I've sneezed.
featuring Gus.
And
as Gus.
I got to come up with another way to do that. It's gotten stale. People expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
what Ray's Jesus.
Wow.
Ray's pretty good at switching it up. Like as soon as everyone expects him to do something in a video, he doesn't do it anymore.
I should
should
wait
just
till
do
the end
2
of the
rounds.
podcast
Yeah.
to introduce myself. This podcast had Gus. I should have a
Bookend
big
that shit.
illuminated sign that comes down, just with all blinking
Or we
lights.
should green screen you pulling the credits up at the end.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
That would be amazing.
We do have
So
a green screen.
Gus.
I got to start off right away with this. Is that one of the things that we do is we research topics for the podcast.
I really hope you're going where I think
And we're
you're
supposed
going.
to turn in 5 to 10 links
Sure.
of stuff that
Are
we're
we?
going to talk about.
Yeah?
Yeah, we are. Some of us do it. Some of us don't. So I wrote Gus this morning and I said, here's our entire podcast for the day. And I sent him a link to a story. I should read it right here and get it right.
Just
Hopefully
read the
Patrick
title of the story.
That's it. The title is the whole thing. The title of the story is... I'm not going to get through this whole thing. Today I learned, this is off Reddit. Today I learned a man fell on a high-pressure air valve. It lodged in his butt and inflated him to twice his size.
No.
Nearly killing him. He survived, but it took 3 days to fart and burp out all the excess.
So,
I wish you could send you a screenshot of Gus and my conversation.
yeah, we
about it.
started talking about it, and then I was like, no, we got to stop. We can't
Wait,
talk about
okay.
We have to wait till we're on the podcast
It
to talk about this.
Inflated him through his anus.
So what I said was, though, if you read the article, it says that the valve pierced his buttocks and inflated him.
How does that happen?
And I said,
First of all, you gotta.
it's like that old Seinfeld episode.
He fell on it, which is like anytime somebody comes into the emergency room and says, "Oh, I fell on something," 9
He was
times out of
shoving it
10,
up his ass,
it's
right?
up their butt.
Look at his face,
It's
like he
that
fell on
Seinfeld
anything.
episode. It's a 1 in a million shot, Doc. It was a 1 in a million shot.
oh my god.
So I said, isn't the digestive tract a sealed system? Like, how could the air have gotten into that? So
it
that
would
he
be
could
like
fart and burp?
inflating a load of sausage skins.
Right, but I
It could have been
they
the way
weren't
they're
clear-
writing it. They were writing for, I guess, a general audience. Piercing the buttock means it could have just gone straight in.
But
Like
they
into
also
the
said that
skin?
it separated fat from muscle.
Oh.
Would it?
How did he not
If it
die?
stretched you enough, it might do that
Like,
anyway.
I think they said that it stretched him so much that he went blind in one eye temporarily.
Oh. See, I can understand it going through his buttock and maybe, separating all this tissue with air. And that makes sense that he got twice as big. But how did he burp it out? How did he get it in his lungs and anus to burp it?
I don't know.
This doesn't make any sense.
Do you think?
Also, would it take you 3 days to get rid of all that?
Do you think that he saw the error of his ways?
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh.
I would just pull the valve out and then fly around the room like a balloon.
Yeah.
You'd let go of the end
Feel
of
like
it.
that-
It said it was, I think, giving air in at 100 pounds per square inch.
I don't think it's a real story. I think it's bull.
It was a legitimate news site.
Was it on April
Los
1st?
Angeles Times,
Well,
right?
he might not agree because it's in New Zealand, so he might have his UK bias going.
Is it April 1st, Gavin? The story came out, what, today?
No,
Yesterday?
it came out a couple months ago.
Uh-oh, I should check that.
Yeah,
Oh.
I checked. It was sometime in 2013, summer, I think, or their winter.
But just so you know, okay, so here's what happened. So the whole fell on it excuse that he used, that was a big time red flag for me. So I looked up, on my Google search, I looked at patient claimed fell on it to see what came up. And then I thought, is this a thing like that people want to push air into their bodies? Guess what? Totally is. So I had to apologize to Patrick when I sent him links. I literally wrote, Patrick, I'm so sorry that I'm sending you these. I'm so sorry. We have actual images from fetish sites of
Oh.
people who inflate themselves, or like fantasy inflation drawings. I don't know if Patrick has any of those queued up. He might have like
Wow.
dumped them.
But that's a drawing.
No, that's a drawing. That is a drawing.
Obviously.
I like the ripped pants.
So what most people do is they get a suit, like a latex suit, and they inflate that, and then they walk around in that thing. Which,
Violet
This is just
Voga.
bad drawings. I mean, I can't
Okay.
jack off to this.
but they, wait,
Come
wait.
on.
Show the you have the YouTube video with the CG. Like somebody did like a CG scenario here as well. They went through a lot of trouble to do it.
I don't know if I want to see that.
It's actually a YouTube video. It's
So
just,
is
it's just
this-
really weird scenarios
So-
in which people become bloated
Is
and
this
distended.
the opposite of a choke wank? Like when they starve themselves with oxygen, they're like, oh yeah. Is this just the opposite where they love the oxygen and they want more?
I was,
all they
I, have
can
to admit,
get?
I was in the weirdest corners of the internet. I was in those parts of the internet where it's still one website run by one dude, and that's it. And he's like curating, and I had to like get a membership. I didn't, but I would have to get a membership to see all the photos.
Wow.
Like all the user submitted photos, and then some of the stuff I just
God,
pulled up YouTube.
I am so sorry for you.
I don't feel bad for me. Feel bad for Patrick.
It must be so. It must have been bad. That sounds fucking terrible.
So you think this guy purposely shoved this up his ass to?
Listen, don't know the guy. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that 9 times out of 10, when somebody goes into an emergency room and they say they fell on something, it's always up their butt for whatever reason. Nobody ever fell on anything and went in their mouth or anything like that. They fell on it, it went up their butt, and it's always like, don't know how that happened. Fell on a light bulb, and a light bulb went up my butt.
And like he couldn't turn it off or anything, or do it like it just inflated him.
Well, if it's coming out that fast, I think it was pretty instantaneous.
The only time I've heard of that being a real thing where someone gets inflated is if someone falls off the back of a jet ski and their anus goes over the outward pipe for the water.
God, that doesn't
Oh.
happen.
And that's how like most people get injured on jet skis is that they get forced water just gets forced into their orifices.
Well, I've had that, but not from that. I've had that from cliff diving, like jumping off like a really high cliff, and then you land, and it's
Stuff went
like,
into your orifice.
Well, it went up your butt.
yeah, it gives you a little bit of a goosh.
A little goose.
I wouldn't say I got like a full on enema, but I definitely got.
you got to batten the hatches when you dive.
You do.
Yeah, but your buttocks are displaced.
I was worried about my
You're
nose.
jumping in anus first with your bum stretched because the butt cheek.
That's how he dove. Were you there?
That's the American version of the,
I like how you
the
squeeze your own
cannonball.
butt.
That's what that is. You just stretch everything out and go right
butt
in.
stretch.
Anus first. No, it's just I was so worried about my nose and kitchen water, my nose, that did you know that in Lake Travis?
You just open your butt instead.
Yeah, instead. I wasn't paying attention to the butt. The butt was
It's one of those
naturally
things
open
where
on its
if your
own.
butt is open and your nose is open, it's like a plunger effect. Where it like equalizes it out.
It's like
The
popping
water
ears.
rushing in your nose will come out your
It's like
butt.
rolling down both windows in a car.
Yeah.
same kind of thing. But you know, in Austin, one of the things I was doing for allergies is you're from the UK. Do you know what a neti pot is?
Neti pot.
You know what a neti pot is. What's a neti pot?
I've used one before. It looks like a little teapot where you put in some solution and then you put warm tap water in, and then you put it in one nostril, tilt your head, and it goes through your sinuses and spills out the other nostril.
Except you're not supposed to use tap water
Why not?
because of amoebas.
Okay, so we have these amoebas that are in Texas that you get them from tap water and you can get them in the lake, and they're super, super rare. They exist, but apparently them being like doing this is a rare thing where it'll get in your nasal passages and then it goes to your brain and eats your brain over the course of like 3 days. What are you laughing about? It's a terrible thing. And apparently I was reading about this horrible because I was using this neti pot and then I read don't use tap water because of this amoeba.
I use it in Canada, so I don't know.
It's
if
like
we have,
1 in a
the same
billion
issues.
shot or 1 in.
Yeah, but you still hear about it happening to people. You think like there's just billions of amoebas, and they're like, man, one day I'm gonna hit the lottery. I'm gonna get a whole brain to myself.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fucking
So
sweet.
one amoeba can eat a brain.
Yeah, well, I guess it like multiplies and goes crazy.
So over the 3 days, you just get more and more stupid.
Dude, maybe
until-
they multiply to grow, but they
Probably
basically
start dying.
it changes your personality. Like you become your personality massively changes over a period
Well,
of
it's
time.
like the bloke that got the metal rod through the front of his head, isn't it?
Phineas Gage.
Gage, man, what a name for getting a metal rod in your head.
Yeah, I think it's his name. Phineas Gage, right?
right? What are the chances?
Yeah, Phineas.
Yeah, Phineas Gage.
He was the guy that was
I used a
bunging,
neti pot one time.
bunging dynamite down a hole with a hammer.
You know what I
Yeah,
get now
metaphor.
instead, which is a gross discussion. There's like a spray saline that's all sealed and sterile,
That you just go like,
and just go gronk,
Yeah.
up your nose.
all
wash
the
all that
guys
fucking
in my
pollen
family
out.
use that every morning.
I'm so glad Cedar season's over. It was starting to get to you
Oh, I had one day when my eyes hurt.
when we were out shooting something.
Yeah,
when
it was really
ironically
rough.
we were wearing inflated suits that day.
Mm.
I didn't even think about that. We were making our own little fetish video.
Yeah, we were.
People
we
are probably
didn't
gonna
realize
see
it.
that video and be like, "Yeah."
That's what I was wanting to see, an inflated Gus.
I'll go back to that
My
site.
dreams are coming true.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah,
But that dude Phineas Gage, he was tamping gunpowder, like blasting powder.
I heard it was sticks of dynamite.
into like it was basically it was massive explosive into a crack in a rock with a steel rod, and he's going tack 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 tack.
Because that's
tack.
how they cleared the path for railroad tracks.
Right, and then it went off, and he's holding the rod like this, and the rod went zip right through his head, and he survived, but
Through his head.
it completely changed his
Yeah,
personality.
he became cranky.
he
a
had
bit
a
of a
headache
dick.
that lasted a while after that. Yeah, go figure. I mean, the brain is such a weird thing to me.
That's him.
Oh, we have it there.
Oh, it went through this.
That's
his
kind
eye?
of graphic. I don't know if we want to show that.
We can show the
It's
skull.
not so graphic.
Skull.
All right.
I didn't realize it went up through his cheek.
He's holding it. Holy shit! That's what went through
Wow.
his face.
If that was me, I would definitely carry that thing around the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
Like, what happened to your eye? This.
Seriously, is that what the thing? That must be why he's holding that thing.
That's
in that
got to be
photo.
it.
Yeah.
The brain
his
is such
cane.
a weird
Oh,
thing.
did we show that?
Like,
Did we show it on
Yeah, we
screen?
did. We showed
Okay.
it. People, like, it's like any little thing can cause a massive personality change, right?
Yeah.
It's
I'm
it's
so
fucking
amazed by the brain.
bizarre.
I'm amazed that I wake up the same person as I was the day before.
How do you know that you do?
Oh,
I?
shit. That's mind blowing.
Because
Literally.
I was thinking about this the other day. There are some people who die for a few minutes, like someone who drowns.
Like
they
that
get
guy
really-
on the
They go to Vegas for a
flight
little
to
while?
Vegas.
they go to Vegas.
Yeah,
But someone who's
right, Southwest Airlines.
someone whose body has no activity, like no pulse, no blood pressure or anything.
Jack.
Basically, all they have is just like little electrical impulses just going all over the brain.
It's actually be so mad at me.
They just have electrical impulses, and that's all they have.
Right.
Nothing else is working, and it's slowly dying. But does the brain like put your personality somewhere temporarily while you're dying? Like, what is your personality? Is it chemicals? Because that guy was dead for maybe 2 minutes, then was taken.
If there is an explanation for this stuff, I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, what is it like a series of electrical impulses? You know, what happens if your battery goes out? Like,
Yeah, it's
Or-
like a little circle battery on, on a
yeah,
motherboard.
like, uh-oh. You forget your BIOS?
I guess if
Yeah.
you like die long enough for your memories to no longer be around in your brain, I don't even know how that works.
it's
like,
so weird that you
does
can
that change
die.
your personality?
I seriously hope in my lifetime we get the ability to record dreams. Even if like our brains are incompatible and I can't watch your dreams,
I would hope that's the case. If we can record dreams, that my dreams are like DRM linked to my body and no one else can see them.
It might make sense. It might be like an encoding thing. Like I don't have the ability to. I don't have the key.
We have different codecs.
Yeah, like I can't decode your.
But you
daydream.
can watch it on any other Gus that you have.
And he's
Yeah.
It's linked to your account.
On any mobile Gus device, up to 5 at once.
Yeah, or any amoeba that happens to be eating your brain, they can watch it too.
I already know what all your dreams are.
At any point in time, Gavin, you're basically just a collection of your memories.
Yeah.
And then what you're going on with now.
I had a lucid dream the other night.
Did you?
Did you?
It was awesome. It's probably like the second or third one I've ever had. I was in my house with my family in England. For some reason, that wasn't weird to me. I was just in England, and nobody.
Why would that be weird? That
Because
you
I
would
don't
be in
live
your
there.
house. Oh,
It felt like it was just normal.
okay.
But basically, nobody could really understand me. Like everyone would start talking right before I finished what I was saying, and they would misunderstand me, and I was getting really worked up. And I was like, "Wait a sec! Whenever I start talking, someone else starts talking," and it just wasn't making sense. Someone was off about it, and then I decided I was like, "It's totally a dream." So I started yelling. I was like, "Why won't anyone listen to me?" And then I picked up this. Like, there's this weird gem on the table, and I picked it up, and I was gonna bat my brother over the top of the head with it. And I was
it's a
like,
dream.
80% sure it was a dream. But I was like,
80% sure.
but I was like, this actually might be real. It might really hurt him. So I didn't do it.
What was the gem? Like a
It
big
was like
diamond?
it was like a green diamond.
and you didn't think that was weird?
Nah. So I was about to whack him over the head. I didn't. Instead, I kicked the front door open and started running outside, and everything started melting, and the gem melted through my hand. I was like, it was a dream.
That's pretty cool.
I could have lamped my brother over the head
Sounds like
with
that scene from Aladdin.
it. Yeah.
Can you run?
Yeah.
Can you run in your dreams? A lot of people can't.
No, it was sludgy for sure.
Yeah.
Like everything was like a wet painting.
Yeah.
I always find my dreams are just observing situations. I'm never involved in them.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I've had that.
Sometimes in
I'm
my
all over
dreams,
the place.
like you talk about how people have trouble running. I definitely have trouble running in my dreams. And a lot of time in my dreams, I have trouble speaking. It's like the words aren't coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, you know what? You know how I can always tell if something's a dream? Like if I get in that moment because somebody told me this. So if I'm not sure if it's a dream or not, in the dream I say, give me something to read. And they give me something to read. And I'm like, yeah, that's not. You can't read in a dream. Did you know that?
Oh, you can definitely read. I've heard that before, but I've read in dreams.
Someone told me that. So now all the time in dreams, I'm like doing something. I'm like, well, I can't read this. I go, oh, this is a dream. And I'm like, whoever's in the dream, I'm like, look at this. It's a fucking read that. It's crazy. Can't read that, can you? And it's just like that has been one of the most common themes in my dreams in the last 2 or 3 years is because somebody told me you can't read in a dream.
So what is it when you try and read it? Just a load of goop, like squiggles?
It's just random.
I'm
Blah,
going to
blah,
start
blah.
printing out a bunch of nonsense and just start handing it to you. I can make you think you're dreaming.
That's really funny.
A page of garbled stuff. I'm gonna look that up and see if it's true. If somebody just planted that idea in my head.
Yeah, I feel like I can read in dreams. I think maybe it was you who told me that, and I started trying to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
There's a
Never thought of
WikiHow
that before.
article, how to tell if you're dreaming.
Oh, let's get some of these.
Go to
over here.
WikiHow in your dream.
If you could read it, you're not dreaming.
If you're in the middle of a dream, go to answers.yahoo.com.
This is almost as good as the signs of death. Are you flying unaided? It might be in a dream.
Might be.
What else is there?
Is your head removed from body?
Check your appearance. Is it your body? What a dumb fucking option.
They have a point though. Like, how often do you look in the mirror in a dream?
I like the idea that like, I'm not sure if I'm dreaming. I'm gonna check a website. And then it's
Is
like,
that me?
I mean, this can only be done by people who are currently not dreaming, right?
Yeah.
So you go, yep, my body.
Unless that exists in the dream world as well.
Well, then you're just making notes for later.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be cool if there was a global, everyone was interlinked to an internet that was just for dreams, but everyone had the same internet?
No.
It'd be awesome.
I don't know if a lot of people would want that.
No, I would definitely not want that.
This is the dumbest article I've ever read in my life.
So
So if they got on there, like, if you see Leonardo DiCaprio and Ellen Page and all that stuff, you're definitely in a dream.
It's like, can you make objects move across the room without trying?
Didn't you have a
You're
dream
probably in a dream.
where you were marrying Monica from Friends? Or like you were getting with
I
her?
was dating her, like,
it
night
was
by
a series
night.
of dreams.
Whatever
yeah.
happened with that?
I never met her again. She pissed off. I was right. I was gonna shag her. I
Yeah.
really was. I had it.
That's the worst.
Hey, what happened to the drop of water?
It's gone.
It's gone.
but
Never
doesn't
came
it
back.
always go away and then come back?
No, it was there for like 2 weeks straight.
Do you think it's because it was like iced over for a while? You think it might have just been melting
Or do you think it's
ice?
because we talked
I
about
think
it?
it's because we talked about it.
It knows now.
Yeah.
It knows you're looking for it.
Yeah.
There
There
it
it
is.
is.
You can see the different places where it's been.
That's
but-
such an anticlimactic end to this.
I know.
It's
To
just
what?
gone.
I went to LA.
An anticlimactic end to what? To the story of a water drop on the floor?
I wanted to find out if it was that fucking spider in his rug or not.
What would be the climactic ending to that
wasn't a
fucking
fucking
story?
Anything that happened.
What happened to the water drop on your floor? It was Hitler. That would be. I mean, what else could it possibly be? It's a fucking bead of water sitting on a wood floor.
We could get resolution.
I
was
think you
in-
fucked up, and I think you're covering your tracks because you
No, I
fucked that
didn't.
floor up.
I didn't.
That thing's all. Look at all the hard water stains on that floor.
I didn't do it.
Do you
Anyway,
just like jizz in the same place every day, maybe? Like,
not on the
just
floor,
like
not a
Clear,
disgusting place.
liquid.
But
jizz.
I went to LA over the weekend. I came back and it was
Speaking of jizz.
still gone. Wait, what?
No. And it just never showed up.
Brutal. Brutal. Brutal.
Um,
We don't have any Valentine's Day sponsors, do we?
So that one.
so there was a story earlier today. Did you hear about the pilot of the Ethiopian Airlines who hijacked his own plane?
Is that what happened?
No, wait.
Yes.
I thought it
Okay.
was a hijacker who knew how to fly a plane,
No.
landed it, and
So
then...
it is a weird story. It's not that
It was
clear.
the pilot. There's two pilots of this plane. The pilot, partway through, it's a flight coming from Ethiopia. It's supposed to go to Rome. The pilot at one point gets up, goes to the bathroom, and while he's out of the cockpit, the co-pilot locks him out, declares himself a hijacker of the plane, and then takes it to Switzerland and lands
Why?
it in Geneva. He said he wanted diplomatic immunity from Ethiopia.
And he wouldn't get that in Rome?
Yeah, he said he couldn't get it any other way, so he had to go to Switzerland. And the Swiss are like, no,
You see
you're
what happened to him.
probably not. They arrested him for essentially kidnapping 250 people.
Jeez.
I'd be livid.
And the interesting was, we talk about these websites all the time, like Flight Radar, where you can track all of these websites or track all of these flights around the world.
Yeah.
You could track this flight as it was happening, and you could see it circling Geneva. It just circled Geneva forever because he couldn't land. They weren't letting him land.
I remember I used
God.
that when Sully, is that his name, landed that plane in the Hudson?
Oh yeah.
The guy who the plane like hit a bird on takeoff and was gonna
Yeah.
crash, and he's like, "I'll be in the Hudson," and he just like steers and like lands the plane and saves everybody's life.
Yeah.
I was wondering about the one dude. You remember the one dude who everybody gets out on the wing of the plane, and the one dude just books it away in the water? He's just swimming.
Yeah.
The one guy, he just like swam away from the plane and just swam.
Was he
to
just
New York.
like terrified and wanted to get to dry
He
land?
probably just wanted to get the fuck away from the plane.
Yeah.
Probably late for work.
This is my stop.
I gotta go.
Or like, if a plane sinks, you can be tugged down, can't you? Though.
Yeah, but everyone got out.
Like the vortex thing.
Well, they tested that with a boat on MythBusters, and nothing happened.
Right, is that true? That was the thing in Titanic that I think a lot of people.
getting sucked down.
Yeah, when the back end of the ship went down, it
I told him
down.
to keep swimming.
But surely it would have sucked you a little bit.
I think a little bit, sure.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a little sucking.
Excuse me.
That's basically how a airplane wing works. You know, it's basically the differential in the pressure, and then it sucks the air down because when it like catches up at the back end of the wing, that's what provides the lift when it does it. So I mean, there's something to it, but I don't think it's like that continuous a force that's
I've
going
got
on
to
there.
say, I'm way less scared of flying now because I've been playing so much GTA 5. And like landing the big Titan is so easy in that game. I just assume that landing planes in real life is easy.
We have a friend who has his family has a house in a very nice part of the world, like one of the nicest islands in the Caribbean. And I've been trying to. He wanted me to come stay with him for a long time, and I've been trying to go forever. And it just keeps falling apart. It always has. The trip always falls apart. Now, one of the times when I was going to go, I was with somebody who was afraid to fly, and she would not get on the plane and go there. And I tried to like make her at ease by showing her the airport. That was a huge mistake because the first thumbnail that came up was a plane in the water, like the tail sticking up out of the water and crashed. And then I saw there was nothing but flight simulator video images of people landing big 747s on this tarmac. It was like the hardest thing they could do. And it was like people doing that. I thought that to me was a barometer for, oh shit, this is a really shitty airport.
Ooh.
Like he was telling me that there's a hill, you go down the hill, it's in St. Bart's, and you go down a hill and then land the plane. And there's a road at the top of the hill, and the cars have to stop to let the plane go through as it's
Right.
flying. They know they're looking for planes, and they stop for these little prop planes to fly down.
Because
But
it
surely
gets
if
that
you're-
close?
If you're coming
Yeah.
in downhill, you're landing at serious speed.
You
'Cause A usual landing is very gradual, isn't it?
You
Yeah.
come down the mountain and land. You can look it up online. Look up St. Bart's Airport, and you'll see the first thumbnail is that tail sticking out of the water. But yeah, you go down the mountain and then land the plane, and the runway goes out towards the ocean. And a lot of new pilots will think, oh, I'll just come in off the ocean and land there. But you have to actually, because the wind, have to come in at a different speed, and yet they always end up fucking hitting the mountain if they do it that way.
Jesus.
So that's the only way to do it.
There was a
basically.
great video recently of the storms that I guess we had here, where it was the camera was just pointed down a runway, and it was just showing all the go-arounds that people had to do.
Oh shit! Really?
Like Boeings were coming in being like, "Er," and like doing this because the
Oh,
wind would be blowing them
That was
sideways.
in the UK.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
That was it.
I forget what airport that was, but yeah, that was in the UK.
Might have been Heathrow or something.
No, they ended up having to try to divert to Heathrow. It might have been Gatwick.
It was just crazy
Yeah.
side winds. Like the fact that wind can blow such a large object is, but the angle that it had, you could really see it was like fighting the whole time. In the end, they're just like, bollocks, go around again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were so close to landing.
Yeah,
and
they're
they
almost
just
there.
done it.
So were they wheels down yet?
No,
some,
they were.
some of them were almost like some of them got like one wheel down. It was just two sideways.
Yeah. Fuck man.
Have you
that's
ever been on a
crazy.
plane that had to do that?
A go around.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah,
You have
a couple of times.
Gus and I were together. First time ever happened to me. I was in a plane with Gus, and Gus was asleep like this. And we
It was coming back from the first RBBTO.
oh, was that when we were landing in
Yeah.
Chicago?
Yeah,
We were landing in Chicago, and like we're going down, down, down,
It
down.
seemed like
down.
a trip from hell.
And all of a sudden, woof, we takes off and we go off again. And Gus wakes up and he goes, "What happened?" And I go, "Well, we were landing, and now we're taking off again for some reason." And he goes, "Marr, marr, marr." And then he went right back to sleep.
It's just like us.
Could not have cared less.
We talked about all these on our like plane podcast we had a few years ago. But then there was that one we were on where we were full speed taking off, and he just slammed the brakes, and we just stopped in the middle of the runway because they had an emission of some sort. And then
we looked at the control panel. We've had some kind of emission. We're gonna try to troubleshoot it up here in the cockpit, and we'll get back to you.
Like
Okay.
one of the guys in the ground farted.
Yeah. So what does a mission mean to you?
Fart.
Fart. Our control panel farted. What does a mission mean to you? You thought it was smoke?
yeah, I thought it would have been something came out of the plane, but then you thought it was something on the
Like an
on
alarm.
the light,
Like
yeah.
a light. Like
And then we waited like 20 minutes, and then he was like, "All right, we're good to go."
I would think it would
And
mean
just
smoke.
gunned it from the middle of the runway.
yeah, we didn't go back around the runway. We were parked in the middle of the runway.
You just stopped.
He worked on it for a little bit. Yeah, he goes, comes back in. He's like, "Yeah, we got it all worked out, so we're gonna take off. Okay, bye." And then boom, we just took off in the middle of the runway.
I've got that video of the airplane.
Do it.
If this is
This is-
look, you're not a good traveler.
Look
Don't
how
watch.
Is this St.
sideways
Bart's?
this is.
This is Birmingham.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness.
He's pointed inwards.
I would be crying if I was on that plane.
Oh my god!
Back
so
up.
crazy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, when you're about to
Jeez,
land
man.
in bad weather and then you're just like, no, we're not gonna land. We're just gonna go take
There's
off
another one.
again. Hope everything
This
works
one-
out the
I think
second
that's
time.
this
the
one's a smaller one, a propeller plane. He doesn't get anywhere close. All right, Mark.
It's great.
What? You got me all worked up to watch.
Well,
it.
it's playing on my phone, but it's not playing over there. So
Oh,
So I
fucking
don't know what's going on.
technology.
One time I was not able to board a plane for almost 2 hours because one of the window shutters was broken.
Listen, if you're having a mechanical issue, at least they'll tell you that. You know,
Yeah.
like if a window shutter's busted, that's okay.
I'm
That's
just like,
okay.
get some tape.
Also, listen, I gotta say, we're all pretty good flyers, right? Like we don't freak out.
Yeah.
But we know people who are bad flyers. People just gotta get over that. I mean, it's just like it's one of the most annoying things to me now. It's like people. To me, it's like almost seems like people who are afraid of the sun or something. You know what I mean? It's like they get on a plane and they're freaked out, and the plane's gonna crash and everything like that. To me, it's like this weird level of arrogance. Like there's 1,000 planes in the air right now. At this moment, there's 1,000 planes in the air. You're not worried about any of them. But the plane that you're on is going to crash. You know, there's been no plane crashes in the U.S. for 11 years. But now, the fact that you got on a plane today, now that's going to fucking be a plane crash.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see why people are scared though. It's not natural for a human to be 39,000 feet in the air in a metal.
it's also
tube.
not natural for humans to be in metal boxes going 70 miles an hour down an
makes-
asphalt road.
It's
It
also not
makes
natural to
sense,
be
though.
broadcast our words all across the globe to where people can watch them on their computer boxes. I'm not scared sitting here.
I just
Right,
think people
but a
are worried
car-
because they're not in control.
Wait,
Whereas when
now
you're
that I
driving a
think
car,
about it,
you
I'm
are.
scared.
But a car makes sense. You got something that's sat on 4 round things. It's going to roll. It's going to move.
Yeah, but that's still way more dangerous than the plane. Way more dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, of course.
Way
Way
Everyone's
more
okay
people
with
die
it.
in car
The guy I used to
crashes
work
than
for put it in
plane
perspective,
accidents.
though. He said that if something goes wrong with a car, you can pull over. You know, you got a shot. But if something goes wrong with the plane, you're not pulling over anywhere. You know.
Pull over in the
Yeah,
sky.
Every time you turn the plane on, you got like 5 or 6 dudes looking at it, making sure everything's working right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
Whereas when it's your car, it's like, that's a weird light.
Today's GTA Let's Play, I think it's today's one. We all took off in Titans, which is like the biggest flyable plane in multiplayer in
Uh-huh.
GTA 5. And we just decided to try and land them on mountains. Like land them on just not runways, basically.
Oh,
It's
did
pretty
you
fun.
see that someone in GTA tested your run down a mountain theory? They got
did?
on a plane and then tried to run down a mountain.
Did it work?
Yep. Listen, that's what Twitter told me, and I haven't seen the video or anything like that. But they told me somebody tested your theory in GTA.
There's no reason that wouldn't work in real life.
Listen, yeah,
It's a few reasons.
from a probability perspective, you could probably hit the angle at just the right way, but you're not gonna get that probability.
It'd be difficult.
You got to tuck and roll.
Fuck no.
You got to hope for a smooth slope, get running, and then just roll out of it.
Aren't you also the person who said if you were like falling from a really high up place, you would try to land on one leg because it's like, I'll break one leg and the other one will be fine.
Yeah. I mean,
great
why,
logic.
why ruin both legs at the same time?
That's a good
Because
point.
you're-
Why, Gavin? Fuck it. Yeah. Or just like get something like a big piece of plywood that's next to you, stand on it, and jump right before you land. And it's like you're only falling 5 feet.
That doesn't make sense because that's
That
stupid.
would be silly.
But I
That
have to
doesn't
hop
make
to the hospital.
Did we ever talk about the weird stat that if the Earth was the size of a cue ball, a billiard ball, it would be smoother than a cue ball?
Yeah.
That the differential in like Mount
Yeah.
Everest and the deepest trench in the ocean is still relative size wise
But
to the Earth.
the gravity would be mental.
Oh, you mean you press the mass of it down?
Yeah.
To that? Yes.
It'd be a black hole, probably.
It would be a
wouldn't
bit mental. Would it get to a point like there's got to be a point at which when you condense that and compress it, then it becomes like
Well,
it has its own event horizon in a sense where it's like then it becomes a black hole.
Well, a black hole, it's only a black hole once the gravity is so strong that light can't escape either.
Can a planet become a black hole? I don't think so.
Well, I don't think there's a planet dense enough to,
No,
crushed enough.
I don't think so either.
Right. There's nothing that dense. No planet.
No, there's
Even-
there's like white dwarfs, like those super dense stars, where everything's much more dense and compressed. But even that, I, don't
I get
think is strong
stars.
enough.
I mean, stars
Yeah.
become black holes. I get that. But yeah, there's no planet. I don't think. What is Jupiter? If I land on Jupiter, am I ever going to land on
It's
anything?
a giant fart.
It's a,
It's a giant
Giant
emission.
emission.
It's a huge emission.
It's,
But is
uh,
it just gas the whole way down?
poop
it's a
it.
gas giant. No, there's land, but it's stodgy, I think, and you'd have to go.
Stodgy. Is that what it says in like the NASA manual?
What's stodgy?
Jupiter,
Like, hard-
lots of gas, stodgy.
It's
So if you
hard
took
to
out-
walk. It'd be like walking in a dream, I imagine.
Say you were like enormous dude, big dude, and you went up to Jupiter and you went, how big is Jupiter? Like, you blew off all the gas. Is Jupiter like smaller than Earth, or is it bigger than Earth?
You're talking about like it's a solid floor.
I'm talking the planet.
Well, I mean, it is the planet. The gas is the planet too.
Yeah, but you don't consider the oxygen atmosphere part of our planet. Like, that's not our planet.
It's an important part of our planet.
It is an important part of our planet, but you're not going to land on the clouds and like, hey, or conquer this in the name of Antares
Earth.
2 or whatever. You know, you're not going to do that. Kerbal. I'm not gonna land on a cloud. I'm gonna land on the planet. I mean, it's acceptable that the land mass is the planet, right?
I
We have
guess-
clouds.
I guess the center of the planet isn't as dense as the Earth. And that's
It's not
why-
as dense.
Yeah.
Is it as big though?
Well, it's huge, isn't it? Jupiter, you can fit every other planet in it.
Inside
he's
the
just
it's-
talking about the land mass, though, not the,
I have
not
no
the
idea.
gas.
You want to what you want to do is X-ray Jupiter.
No, so what I want to do is like go down, I punch through the clouds, and I go land on that thing. Like, say I go up to that fucking red eye that it's got, and I go, I'm fucking land on that.
The
Thing.
storm.
There you go.
You want to land in the middle of the
I'm-
biggest storm in the solar system.
Why not? What the fuck? I got a
It's the one that's
spaceship.
bigger than planet Earth.
I got a spaceship and I got a lot of ambition. Let's do it. So I go and I land on the red eye. Do I go through the eye and
Are you
then
gonna
end
take
up-
the red eye?
I'll take
Nice.
the red eye. I'm gonna bring a high pressure air valve. I'm gonna go right in the red eye.
And then you go to the doctors and say, "I fell on it. I promise."
Jupiter fell on me.
Maybe that's why it's got so much gas.
But what happens? I mean, do I go through the clouds and then I'm on the planet, or is it just gas the whole way down? And I come out the other side and I go, well, that was a lot of effort for nothing.
Well, it can't be gas the whole way down
Why not?
because it has a core to keep all the other gas
it has to have
around
a
it.
gravity.
That's what I'm talking about.
If it was the same thickness as it is on the top, in the middle, it'd probably just disperse and float away.
Maybe not though.
Or
could
maybe not.
What is it? Is it
It's
denser
so
gas,
dense.
or is there what?
There's got to be something. There's got to be something.
I'm asking Gavin. I know Gavin doesn't know, but he will never say he doesn't know. He's gonna.
I will know. Does anyone know? Yeah, they probably do, don't they?
Probably a billion people right now are tweeting at us.
I'm
being
sure they have. I'll
Fucking
look it up.
idiots.
Have we been there?
Well, they have
Have
the
we-
internet too.
Satellites.
We have satellites around it.
Here's
We've
Jupiter's
sent satellites
size.
by it.
Assuming the its center is metallic hydrogen.
Okay.
Fancy.
It's a cloud tops, gaseous hydrogen, then a layer of liquid hydrogen, then metallic hydrogen, and then a core of rock, metals, and hydrogen compounds.
Man, Jupiter loves hydrogen.
Yeah, it's a bitch. You know, it makes me wonder. Like, they found that planet that's out there. There's like an entire planet that's essentially diamond. It's like one enormous
Right.
diamond out there.
Imagine living there, knowing you had all of Earth's value, but you couldn't do anything with it.
Like,
Okay.
what would you do? I mean, well, I wonder that. Like, I wonder if it's like, is there an element on Earth like is like carbon in the form we have now? Is that super rare, or is it like water?
How about water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like? Although they're, you know, fucking NASA. They're like, how many times are they gonna find water on Mars?
Fucking
how many
NASA.
times are they gonna do that? They've done it like 10 times now. They found water on that.
I think every
goddamn
time it's
planet.
like evidence. I think they're not going to be happy until they can take a picture of water flowing
all
on
right,
Mars.
then fucking hold off until they do
So they
that
just
thing.
keep finding the same evidence.
I think it's like more
That's like
evidence.
a guy who died from a gunshot. Oh, another bullet. It was definitely a gun. There's another bullet.
It's exactly right. So how many guns are they gonna find?
I think going back to your comment about the diamond planet, whoever said it, I think there was a paper written that there was speculation. I forget if it was Saturn or Jupiter that one of them could theoretically rain diamonds because the pressure's so great in the gas atmosphere that the carbon gets
Will just be crushed.
compacted and then it gets like shot back up by high winds and then compacted over and over until it's just got diamonds and essentially raining diamonds in the upper
Diamonds
atmosphere.
in the sky.
I think Saturn also floats
What?
if you had it in a big tub of water.
Because it's less dense than water.
Yeah.
Very big
Okay.
tub of water.
I'll get that tub going any day now. That would be the worst thing imaginable. Can you imagine being in a diamond rain? How bad would that fucking hurt? And you're saying it goes up too?
Yeah.
Fuck that. That'd be the worst. That would be the
You're getting
worst.
hit by diamonds from every side.
That would be. I couldn't imagine a natural phenomenon that's worse. That's worse than raining diamonds
Why-
up and down.
Why is that worse than like glass?
Because diamonds are like the hardest thing imaginable. They would just tear you to shreds.
It would shred you.
That's the hardest thing we have, right? Like, what the fuck is metal hydrogen? Now I'm scared of that.
Metallic hydrogen.
Well, you know how there's some limits that you can't go past, like absolute zero, you can't get colder.
Right.
Is there absolute hard?
Absolute hard.
That like you can't
Absolute
get any
dead.
harder?
Yeah, I got it right here.
like.
It's my dick.
Well, like
You
here,
can't see it on
here I
camera.
have a legitimate question about science.
Cracked
I want to
diamond.
know what is the center of Jupiter? What is it? And they go through all this shit: cloud tops, gaseous hydrogen, then a layer of liquid nitrogen, or hydrogen, then a metallic hydrogen, then a core of rock metals and hydrogen complex. Okay, first of all, rock is too generic a term for science. We can't use the term rock anymore.
Well, what is rock?
It's just right. It's just right. It's just stuff. Why don't I just say stuff? Hard stuff. I think it's what is it? It's like I want to know what Jupiter's made of. Well, it's made out of rock.
Well, you'd be
That's
annoyed
not
if that was written down. Oh, it's actually a bunch of hard shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Rock is. We accept rock like it's a normal term.
Because we have rock here and rock is hard and they have it there.
Yeah, but I
rock's not
doubt
an
it's the same
element.
fucking rock. I'd be fucking flabbergasted if I got to Jupiter. It's like, oh, these rocks look just like our rocks.
Yeah. Be like if you went to a place and you said, "I want the meat. What do you want for food? I want meat."
Yeah, but rock isn't an earth substance. It's a term for hard stuff. Like, there's moon rock, there's Mars rock.
I want to know what Jupiter's made of. You can't use the
Jupiter
word
rock.
rock. You can't make the word. You can't use the word rock.
I can picture an
It's
Earth
too
rock
generic.
being on Mars rock. Like, kind of the same. Kind of
Well,
interchangeable.
what's another word for
Jupiter
rock?
rock? What the hell is that?
Well, rock's made of something. Tell me what the rock is. Don't just say rock. It's
Which
rocks.
kind of rock? Are we talking like
Exactly.
sedimentary?
That's what I'm saying. What is? You can't just say rock. You know?
I could smell what it's cooking.
It'd be like if you did the whole thing. You said cloud tops, gaseous hydrogen, liquid hydrogen, metallic hydrogen, and then core. If it just said Jupiter bit, like in the middle, it's like that's it.
Juptonium.
It's a bunch of
It's
Jupiter.
like we're talking about the innovation chief in Austin.
Jupes.
It's like you can't use the term innovation to describe your job. You can't use the word to define
It
what the
looks like
thing is.
they found a picture of what was at the core of Jupiter.
This is the surface of Jupiter.
Is in
Right
fact
there.
made of Dwayne Johnson.
It's too
Everyone,
generic.
you're fired.
too
Everyone, just get out.
That's too
Get
generic.
out.
Wouldn't that be awesome though? If you got
just
down
him
to
at the
Jupiter and
center.
it's just him.
Yeah, he's like, hey, what's up? I've been there the whole time.
Welcome to Jupiter, bitches.
It's like, you should have been expecting it. It was in the write-up. It's at the rock.
Or everything.
Or
that
he's
was
just in the
ever
middle of
rock.
a gas giant going like this. Sorry, everybody.
I had some emissions.
And Alcatraz is there too.
Who?
No. No.
Like the
Don't
movie.
repeat it.
All right.
Don't repeat it.
Let's go.
He said Alcatraz.
If you can go to any horrible. If you go to any planet, like, and you know you go to the planet you're gonna die, what planet would you go to?
Why would I want to do that?
Let's just say you got to. You have to do it. We
I-
selected you for the program.
I go to a planet to die.
yeah.
Oh
Just
my
made up
god,
a
this
program and
answer is
selected
so
Gus for it.
obvious.
This you. Why you even? You don't answer my dumb hypothetical questions. Why are you answering this one?
I've known him longer.
This is not hypothetical. This is potentially possible in our lifetime. We have to
Um,
explore planets. They want someone who's got no use to society.
Yeah, but some
so
are
they
like
picked
50
someone
years
us.
away.
What's that?
Like to get to Pluto, it's not really a planet. But doesn't that take
Pretend
like
it
50
didn't.
years?
I think
take
Pluto's
that
a
long.
planet.
All right, well, I would go to Pluto because you could do some gnarly front flips right before you died.
Why? Because it's
What is
smaller? You mean?
It's tiny. There's hardly any gravity.
Ice?
It's cold
You
as
go snowboarding?
dicks. It's cold.
Yeah, you die of the cold.
Everything's cold.
You're gonna die anyway.
It's real cold.
Yeah, but it's like
Cold is cold. There was I think I saw a picture today that about Mercury.
Mhm.
Said it's still negative 170 degrees Celsius.
on one part. of it.
Yeah, on the dark side. It doesn't matter. You can get as close as you want to the sun. A negative 170 degrees, that's still fucking
It's
cold.
pretty cold.
It like past 40 degrees, I'm gonna be a bitch.
So there's got to be a point on Mercury. And how fast does that thing turn? Like, what's a
Um,
day on Mercury?
It's like I want to say off the top of my head like 18 or 19 hours.
oh,
It's like
so
really
it's
fast.
shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
What's
it is
the
a
one
smaller
where,
planet.
What's
But
the one where the day is longer than the year? I thought.
where the day is longer
Mercury's-
than the year, where it rotates less around its own axis than
Let
it
me,
does
I'm
around
gonna look
the
it
sun.
up. I'm gonna look it up.
I thought it was
So
Mercury.
there's got to be a point on Mercury where it's negative 170 degrees Celsius on one side, and it's whatever billion thousand degrees on the other side. Not an exact measurement. That's estimate. That's
Thank you
made
for
up.
clarifying.
There's got to be that one, like maybe if it's only like 2-inch space, that's like 78 degrees.
Yeah,
That's got-
temperature-wise, you would have to
Perfect.
keep moving, but it would be doable.
And you'd have to move pretty fast.
You just walk.
You just keep running.
No, because apparently, I mean, I know it's not as big as the Earth, but if it rotates once every 19 hours, you would not be able to, in a land vehicle, keep up with the rotation of the Earth. There's no way.
I
There's
don't
no way.
understand
I
these
don't think
words.
so.
What words?
Synodic period.
Sounds gross.
What is this? Like I'm trying to get this information about Mercury, but I'm too dumb to understand.
did
it.
you- say
Cyanotic
what
period.
planet you would die
Cyanotic
on?
means blue.
SYNOID. Synoid.
Okay.
Temporal interval it takes for an object to reappear at the same point in relation to two or more other objects. No, that's not real.
This is the dumbest we've ever sounded all at one time. I love it. This is by far the dumbest we've ever
People
So
sounded.
love
its
it.
orbital period is just under 88 days.
Orbital period is 108, so it takes 88 days to go around the sun.
So it says
Right.
an 88-day year.
88 day year, yeah.
Wow.
That doesn't say how long the day is.
That's got to be something you can look up in 2 seconds on that device.
Just Google how long's a day on Mercury.
How long's the day on Mercury?
What planet would you die on? You said Pluto?
Where would you go,
if it
Bryce?
was still a planet?
Obviously, Uranus.
Oh,
it
Jesus.
rotates once every 58.647 days.
Oh yeah, you can keep up with that shit. You can keep up with that. If it rotates every 56 days,
Yeah.
so it rotates a little less than twice a year, like 1.5 times a year.
Yeah, if you haul ass on foot, you could probably do that.
It's a year. It's still 88 days, but its own year.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do
faith.
it.
Go
So
for
where's that spot? We gotta like.
Well, you're asking how wide is that spot?
it's gotta be like razor thin.
And if you're at the front edge, it's summer, and if you're the back edge, it's winter.
yeah, you'd be like baking here, and then you'd be freezing in the
Well, does it have a?
There's like a StarCraft 2 level where the map progressively gets on fire on the left side, and you have to keep moving to the right because it's like the planet's rotating, and you're coming into the heat from
That's
the star.
cool.
There is no way he could have made this conversation sound dorkier than it was. He found it. You found this level of like.
So I guess you'd have to figure
StarCraft
out
2.
if it was tilted on an axis like Earth is. You'd have to move up and down as well to combat
Nah,
the
you just
seasons.
stay in your spot and go with it.
But it might get too hot in the summer, is what I'm saying.
You'll follow it. You'll end up doing like a sine wave like that.
Okay.
Well,
job
but you'll
done.
just naturally follow it.
We
if
can't
that spot
breathe.
moves a little bit, pop, pop, you'd go with it.
We
too.
can't breathe, but we
Bap,
can
bap,
stay
bap.
nice and warm on Mercury.
That would suck. Like we read one time about the we talked about it on the podcast before, I'm pretty sure, years ago. I hate anything like I would never want to get in a situation where I constantly have to do something to stay alive. Even if it's like I just have to keep pushing a button to stay alive, and in the moment I stop pushing the button, I'm gonna die. Like,
It's like Lost.
what's that? Oh yeah, like every 15 minutes. That situation would drive me insane. What is it, every 90, 72 minutes? What is that?
108, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, 108 minutes. I want to
It's
say.
enough of an interval where even sleeping would drive you wackadoo.
Yeah.
But we read about that blue-ringed octopus in Australia, which is this sounds like somebody wrote it for a movie. It's if you get stung by this fucking thing, it paralyzes your gross motor nervous system. Okay, so your heart will continue to beat, and you're alive, and you're just fucking straight up paralyzed.
Where is this thing?
It's in Australia. And it's called the blue ring octopus. But one of the things it hits your respiratory system. Black widow spider does the same thing.
Yeah.
Toxin black widow spider. It basically I think cramps you up to the point where your diaphragm no longer works. So venom lasts for about 24 hours. So if you're with somebody and they just give you mouth to mouth for 24 hours, you'll be totally fine. And you'll have a full recovery. But if they stop at any point, you will suffocate and die because you can't breathe on your own. So can you imagine being conscious and being depending on someone else to give you mouth to mouth for 24 hours, and you're watching them just slowly get tired of that?
Oh
Yeah.
god.
And like,
And you have no way of signaling to them that you're about to kick it.
even if they knew and you knew, and they're communicating to you like a doctor, and they told you, but they're the only person around for miles, and they're giving you mouth to mouth for 24 hours. That sounds like I could do it, but you breathe like 7 or 8 times a minute. For 24 hours
Yeah.
straight, that person would eventually just fucking give out and collapse themselves, and then you would die.
You gotta hope that you've been really good to that person.
Oh my god, that would be. I know it's only 24 hours, and anybody thinks that's like a marathon, they could do it, but that would be fucking tough.
If you wanted to take a breather, but you knew you had a nice fart coming, would you turn around and fart into their lung? That
I think at that point, all humanity's out the fucking window.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
I'd
I
be like,
just-
just kill me.
That would be horrible.
Yeah,
Done.
I'm gonna read this thing here. Speaking of blue ring
Great
octopuses.
segue.
So I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by.
Have you guys been playing? You probably already talked about this on the patch. Have you been playing Titanfall?
We have not talked about it on the patch because it came out after last week's
Oh,
patch.
it did?
Yeah, it was a.
Yes, I've been playing a lot of Titanfall.
It's so
Have you
fun.
been
It's a
playing?
blast.
It's so fun. We were going to do one Let's Play today. We ended up doing like 3, or like, we played like 6 games because we just couldn't put it down.
It's
so
really
much
really fun.
And everyone does well. Like, you always feel like you're doing well.
Yeah, it's got a good mechanic where I guess it's a carryover from MOBA style games where there's a bunch of AI controlled like
Yeah,
grunts
it's
and
grunts.
really low level characters. So even if you're not very good at killing other human players, you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill those guys.
Yeah, and it
so
helps you get your Titan faster.
Right. It still helps you, and it helps you progress in levels and unlock more stuff and get to the point where you can fight the other people.
Yeah.
As someone who's like really terrible at first person shooters, do you think I would enjoy it? I'm like absolutely terrible.
There's a
know
weapon in
about
there
that.
that's really great for people who are new to FPS. There's a pistol. You basically just walk in the room, point the pistol in the room, and wait long enough, and it locks onto everyone's heads, and then you just pull the trigger and kill
Nice.
them.
And you don't even have to be looking directly at them. It will curve the bullets into
How do you
them.
get this weapon?
You start with it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How come everyone doesn't just use it?
Because it's not quite it's pretty cool, but it's also better if you're like walking up behind people and they don't see you with it.
I also imagine that's not as fun.
It takes a little bit of time to lock on. No, it's pretty damn fun.
They've done a great job of making both parts of the game fun. Like being a pilot without a Titan is just as fun as being in a Titan.
I totally agree. In fact, I prefer not to have the mech.
Yeah,
Well, you can have it-
sometimes
you can
I'll
have it
delay calling my Titan in. I'll
Yep.
be like, I'm fine.
But
Or
you-
I'll call it in and just let it in
Yeah.
AI mode roam by me.
It will just work for you, and you can call it, and it's great.
Yeah.
The balance between characters in Titans and people on foot is really good. You know, the fact that everyone has an anti-Titan weapon, and that if you use that cloaking device, it works kind of shitty against humans, but
Right.
really good against Titans.
You kind of see them for a flicker. It's like, is that what?
Yeah, but then if someone's in a Titan, they don't see you at all.
And it also makes me. I play it totally differently to any other FPS. Like I immediately think I'm going to get on a roof somewhere.
Yeah,
You parkour
like,
your way up.
You see buildings and you're like jumping and bouncing off of them and wall running.
It's so
This
so
sounds
fun.
awesome.
It also has a built-in like "fuck you" mechanic, which is in Halo they do the tea bags, and there's some games where you can stab people, and that's like you walk up somebody behind somebody to stab them real quick. It's not the same thing though. In this, it has when you're fighting as mechs and you get someone all the way down to what's it called, the ejection period.
It's like the hazard.
Well, when they're
something.
doomed.
Yeah,
you see the little.
doomed, right? Is that what it
Oh,
is? Yeah, you're doomed. There's a little meter, so you have time to eject, or you can fight a little bit more and get out. But if you're in that mode and someone comes up with their mech and melees you, it punches through your cockpit and it grabs your little dude, your pilot out, picks him out, and then just whoop, chucks the dude.
Not even like that. It's just like picks them out and just kind of like tosses them off to the side. Like,
I love
won't-
In
Yeah.
the Let's Play today that hasn't come out, I was just walking around. I saw Jeff doing that to someone, and then just tossed him into the river, like tossed him off the map into the ocean. Awesome.
It's awesome.
But my other favorite thing is when you get up behind someone and you melee them and you just like break their neck and you see their head spin all the way around. Then if that happens to you, you're standing there. Then all of a sudden you're looking out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're looking directly behind you
I
at the
haven't
guy
had
who's,
that happen
who's
yet.
grabbing
never
you
had
and
that
just
happen
like
to me.
twisting your whole head.
What's like the plot line of this game? Like what's
Kill,
the
Mechs,
shoot and kill.
future, space,
futuristic
robot fight.
space kind of stuff? All right.
Pacific
futuristic
Rim.
mechs, robot kill.
Then go online and complain, basically.
Okay.
It's a full
And then one
experience.
of the other really fun things is even if you lose, you still have the hope for extraction.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I can make it to the extraction point and still get out of here and like retain some dignity. Like that moving fight to get to the spaceship is so much fun.
Yeah. It's really cool because it's that's like a new thing that's over the last few years has evolved in FPS. Is like, did Team Fortress 2, did it start with that post-game hunt down thing that they have? Do you play much Team
I don't
Fortress 2?
remember it's.
I think it seems like something they added over time.
I think so too.
Yeah,
But
I love that kind of stuff. Like the post-game kind of like, fuck you mode that goes on. But yeah, I can't believe the amount of, and I don't know if this is just the Call of Duty audience in general, but the amount of bitching about that game before anybody played it was fucking
Titanfall.
amazing. Yeah, like when they announced the 6v6, we had played it at PAX Seattle already. We had gotten some hands-on time with it, and we loved it. And so when information was coming out about it, I was like, I don't know what people are complaining about. This is totally fine. It's been this way all along, like with the AI characters.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I loved about it is I was we got to play in the last round. There was a alpha round I got to play in, and
At PAX?
no, it was between packs. It was like a month ago before this one. And so we had a code and I was playing and Ashley was watching me play and I ran into a room. I never play Call of Duty. I just don't. I never have played multiplayer Call of Duty. And this is made by the guys who made the Modern Warfare series. They broke away and they started
Make
Respawn. It's like the main dudes at least. They made this game. So it's got a Call of Duty feel to it, at least with the on the ground combat. And I ran into a room and there's 3 dudes in there and I just fucking just leveled that room. Just like took everybody out. And Ashley goes, wow, you're really good at FPSs. I was like, yeah, those are AI dudes. I refused to like give her the satisfaction that they were AI characters, But you definitely have these moments of just like, you're just tearing through and you're like, yeah, fuck everybody.
How
Feels
cool
good,
is that vortex shield where you just hold the crap that's been
Yeah.
shot at you? You end up with so much crap.
So I have a
sometimes.
question. I haven't been able to get a definitive answer at this. So if you're shooting at someone and they vortex, and then you stop shooting and you vortex, and they fire the stuff at you, does your vortex catch it all, and can you send it back?
I was trying to figure this out because I caught a bunch of stuff,
Uh-huh.
and I think I shot them, they caught it and threw it back at me, and I caught it, but it exploded in my hands after a while. I think
Oh.
it times out. I think that's what was happening.
It's like it can't bounce twice.
I
It
think
only
you
bounce
can pass
once.
it back and forth if you do it quickly, but it eventually will time out.
Okay.
I would love to be nearby when a guy chucks a pilot and see if I can vortex a pilot. Launch his ass.
One of the
That'd be a
best
lot of
things
fun.
is that one of the abilities you can have as the Titan is a nuclear eject, I guess.
Yeah,
Where
I love that.
As your thing explodes, it explodes huge. So when you're in your exploding timer, you can just haul ass into the middle of someone else's fight and eject, and you end up just looking down on absolute devastation.
It just turns
It's
like
amazing.
white.
Yes, like-
and huge explosion.
and you're just above it, like woohoo!
Sounds really
Do
fun.
you? I don't understand. How do you tell when you're in a Titan? How do you tell when there's a dude on your back?
You get a flashing red notice at the top.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
It
'cause
says
that,
rodeo attack or something like that.
Yeah,
Rodeo,
and I think
yeah.
the only thing you can do to get that
You
off
have to
is
get out.
you get out,
Yeah.
or your friend can shoot it off.
You think hopefully down the road there's like an upgrade you can get where you can electrify the outside of your suit?
That's happened to me. It was like electro smoke or something.
I've seen
that
electric
deployed.
smoke. Yeah.
Yeah, that killed me when I was
yeah,
on the top
they do.
one.
Those guys do a really good job of like capturing experiences and making them very visceral. Like the experience of getting on the back of a mech as a pilot, and like just like that's exactly. Even with the controller in my hand, I feel like that's exactly how to react in that situation. I'm just like tearing at shit. Just like I'll shoot that shit.
In my head, I'm always like, faster, open it up. Like I'm freaking out that
What
it's
are the
taking too
scale
long.
of the mechs? How big are they?
They're pretty big.
Like a person fits inside the chest of
Yeah.
it.
Like
So
one
it's
of-
not like Pacific Rim.
okay.
You know, it's
A
not
little
like
smaller?
that. It's like it's about the size of a 3-story building.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be
One of
the-
the animations to get in is that the Titan will pick you up and put you in the chest.
It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's fun. And
You
the
are my heart now.
the first experience of like watching a Titanfall, that actual thing that happens, what a
Prepare
Titanfall
for
is,
Titanfall.
that's pretty badass. You watch it come in out of orbit
And
right
obviously
next to you.
ejecting up and landing on someone else's Titan. Very
Oh,
good.
that's so
very
much
good
fun.
feeling.
Yeah.
So what does the Respawn logo mean? It's
I
like
don't
the
know.
3 dots and then the 1 dot off to the side.
No clue.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Okay.
Like I don't understand what their logo means. I don't
I don't
know. I don't know if it's like Braille for the letter R. Or, I don't know. I've been trying to
Give it a
figure
feel.
out.
Anyway, I've been having a lot of fun with that game. I've been trying to catch up on a lot of stuff. I've been trying to catch up. I'll talk about the patch, but I've been trying to catch up on Last of Us DLC came out. But played Lego Movie. That's a fun game too.
That
So-
movie was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know what that Respawn logo
I
is.
think that's the Braille for R, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'll look up Braille for R.
So
Alright.
it's just been bugging me. I see it all the time now when I get into the game.
If you connected all those dots, it would be a play button.
It is. It's Braille for R.
Oh, it is?
That's what
There
that
you go.
is.
I just guessed.
Wonder why.
Well done.
Wonder why Braille.
I don't know.
I mean, you know, it's not something you
It's a language.
I know.
What's that?
It's a language.
Yeah, it sounds like you typically
You can't really
recognize
play
on
video
sight.
games if you're blind.
I was like, it's always like by the like by law, they always have like signs say we have menus in Braille, and it just says that on the wall. It's like, okay, great. Who's the fuck's gonna read that?
Well, someone's going to be with someone who's blind, isn't there?
Maybe.
And they'll request it for the blind person.
Well,
Yeah.
do you need? I mean, if someone, I guess somebody would like to read their own menu, but it's also like, how do you know, like, where to find Braille? Like, I see Braille like on the side of a wall or by a door, but it's like, do you just like walk with your hands on every surface? Is there a standard height that they put up
The
Braille?
two
I think
places
it's
I
at hand
always
height.
see
What's that?
Braille.
It's usually at hand height, isn't it? Just
Yeah,
like
like
palm
whose
height.
hand? I mean, if I'm a dude,
Yeah.
blind dude walking down the hallway, my hand's up here. Like, hey, Barb, what's going on? You know,
Watch
oops, what happened?
I always see it on like hotel room numbers
Yep.
and elevator numbers. That's the only two places I've ever
But
seen.
sometimes the hotel
Braille.
room number's right here. Sometimes it's up in the middle of the door too.
true.
It's just like there's. Hey, let me ask you a question. What's the thing? Because my grandmother grew up. When I grew up, I'd go visit my grandmother in Miami. A lot of Jewish people live there. What is the thing that they put in the doorway? What is that thing?
A mezuzah?
Yeah, is that what it is? Like it's just like a little like diagonally up in the doorway.
Yeah.
Is that like a blessing kind of a thing?
Yeah. It's like to symbolize like goodness.
I don't want to put you on the
house.
spot here. I don't want you to like.
I
feel
don't
like
know
a-
the exact meaning for
Okay.
it. I know it's supposed to be like good luck and like protect your house kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Like
What's
the
it called? A
threshold kind of a thing.
mezuzah?
No, I don't know. I think it's called that.
I'm gonna my search history's blown. Anyway. I'm just gonna look
My
at
my
Jewish
knowledge
door
is
thing.
not 100% on target.
Look at Google's right along with me, dude.
Jewish door thing.
What's the Jewish door thing called?
Is it a mezuzah?
I'm looking it up.
I know it has
it's
an
a
M.
mezuzah. You got it right.
Okay.
Look, you should have stuck
Woo.
your guns.
All those years of school finally paid
Yeah.
off.
All those years of private
it's
school.
a piece of parchment
Yeah.
stuck in there. It's inscribed with Hebrew verses from the Torah. These verses comprise the Jewish prayer, beginning with the phrase, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one."
Yeah, it's supposed to like bless your house.
Should be placed in the high right side of the door, upper third. Yeah, they're right there. Okay. I see those things everywhere.
A lot of people will like kiss it every time, like they put their hand on it and kiss their hand every time they leave or enter a house.
Full of germs, probably.
Probably.
I had to talk. We have a new employee here. Her name is Scarlett. She's our new office manager, and we had a whole germ discussion today. Like,
Is she-
you know,
is
we
she
have
a
this
germaphobe?
bucket of forks. That's we have a bucket of forks. That what the hell is that? We have a bucket of forks that's in the kitchen, and the forks sit in there with the tines up. And I'm like, that's not the way to do that. Put all the tines down. Put the business end of the fork down, because like people are like going in there and like grabbing all the forks, trying to get one fork, and it's like that's okay if it's the handles, but like all the people like nah, on top of it, it's kind of gross.
Germphobe.
I'm not really germaphobe. I don't really give a shit, honestly. That's the kind of stuff that doesn't bug me. I know I'm talking about amoebas and now germy forks, but that's just like that just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brain has got this fucking thing on his arm.
He does
Brain
what?
wants to show that thing.
He's not here.
Oh,
What
But
is it?
yeah. A bite or something?
I don't know what it is, but he's gonna die from it.
Ugh.
I haven't seen this.
He said it was like a little thing, and then he kind of scratched it, and it got bad. But it's like now it's a white dot with a red circle that's like this big.
So it's like a cartoon zit.
Yeah, he's gonna
It's
die from
probably
it.
just a mosquito bite.
I don't know,
A
man.
mosquito bite?
I've had some intense mosquito bites here that have gotten like this big before.
There's none right now, though. There's no mosquitoes going around right now, though.
It's true. I don't know then. He's probably dying.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Brandon.
Who knows
Well,
what he
we'll have people tweet their
Diagnosis?
Yeah, their
Conspiracy.
diagnosis here.
He
Thank
got
you.
he got a blue ring octopus bite, I think.
Yeah.
When did that happen? I haven't seen that on him. Was it just like something from this past weekend?
I just
Yeah.
saw it this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you clean your ears with Q-tips?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only just do it like right at the outside. I never shove them in my ear.
I'm way too scared to do that.
Why?
I did it wrong, though. I did do it wrong once, and it hurt like hell.
Although I've been
I got
having
overconfident.
the sore ear from flying. 'Cause I think I fly quite a lot. I think I'm ruining my ears, but my left ear
You're not
always
ruining
gets
your ear. I don't think you do that.
my left ear always gets stuck. Like I need to pop it, and I try and do the thing, that maneuver, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I can only do it to one ear. Like this one's always blocked.
Have you
Really?
ever had your ears flushed?
No.
You might be amazed.
It is the coolest thing.
You should
in
probably
the
get it
world.
flushed. Or you can go to the doctor like I did and have him use a little vacuum and suck some gross shit
Yeah,
out.
that's
I
what
would
they
totally
did.
do
They
that.
did the thing where
But
like,
I've
they push
never-
water in and suck.
I've never cleaned my ears. Like you're meant to have earwax in your ear, right?
Yeah, they say don't do it,
Yeah.
but I still do it.
And I don't have wax flowing from my ear holes.
Turn around. Let me see. No,
No, you're
your ears
good.
are fine. You're clean.
You're good.
Okay.
You're right. You don't. I mean, you can always like clean your ear with a washcloth and not get in there. But yeah, if you can't pop your ear, I would say
You're not really supposed to use Q-tips to clean your ears.
No, it's probably the one product that's like used by most people for the one thing it says specifically don't use
Yeah.
it for this.
Don't shove these in
So
your
they're not
ear
meant for
holes.
ear holes.
It literally says in the package, do not put this in your ear.
Yeah.
And everyone just goes,
How hard are you meant to blow with your nose shut?
I just do it very steady and increase it until my ears pop.
Oh.
I don't jam on it or anything like
Oh,
that.
because in the past I've just gone.
Oh,
one of my
Oh,
ears is like,
God.
Don't do
but
that.
the other one doesn't do it.
Have you ever heard a noise when you do that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's if I do it slow.
Yeah.
If I do it full speed, it's like,
Oh.
and I feel like stuff shoots out of my ear.
that's like, whenever I get that,
You should put your hand next to your ear and see if anything does actually shoot out.
Did you ever get the water in the ears when you go swimming?
fucking.
I hated that.
And it would
Love
block.
that.
And then you shake your head and you just feel it like dribble out.
Well, I was so stupid as a kid, I wouldn't shake my head to get it out. I'd just be sitting there like an hour later or 2 hours later, and all of a sudden I just go, and it'd be like, pop, and water would run on my ear. I used to love that.
And it's so warm.
Yeah, I love that. I thought it was
It's really
awesome.
creepy how warm it is when it
Yeah.
comes out. It's really
'cause it's
unsettling.
been inside your body the whole time.
But it's like on your body. Why is is like that part of your body a different temperature than the other part of your body? It makes no sense to
Yeah.
me.
Well, I guess internal you're 98.6. External you might be a little cooler.
Well, earlobes have special heat abilities, don't they?
Do they?
If you burn your finger, you're meant to hold your earlobes because your earlobes absorb heat faster than any other part of your body.
Is that true? I never heard that.
I've
know.
Did you
never
make that up?
heard
Are you
that.
full of shit?
No, I've heard
Oh.
it. For real.
Okay, I listen.
I thought he was
I've
pulling my
never
leg
heard
the other
that.
week. He told me, like, we were talking about. So after our discussion last week, Matt talked about his sub in a
It could
tub.
be a brown recluse bite. People are saying it could be.
Matt was talking about his sub in a tub, and you told us about it. So last week, I think it was on Tuesday, I went and I was like, I'm going to get a sub in a tub at Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
So I got one. And as I was getting the sub in a tub made, they asked me, do you want mayonnaise on that?
Gross.
And I was like, no. I was like, what? Do people get mayonnaise on their salads? And they go, yeah, sometimes they do. I was like, no, absolutely not. So I came back and I was talking about that with Gavin. And apparently that's a thing they do in the UK, except they call it salad cream.
I have to correct this because I brought this up publicly in another place.
Okay.
And people were very adamant that salad cream is not mayonnaise. They just have the same ingredients, but they're like made differently or something.
Oh, come on.
And I'm like, bullshit.
But it's the
Well, do you
same
know what
sort of
Miracle Whip
oily.
is? Do you have Miracle Whip?
we have it. I don't know what's in it.
Yeah, it's basically it's mayonnaise.
Miracles?
It's just mayonnaise. The people say it's not mayonnaise sandwich spread. It's fucking mayonnaise.
So you don't have Heinz salad cream.
No, we have salad. I think like mayonnaise. It says on the outside is salad dressing. I think that's what the
Well,
traditional
salad cream-
Hellman's mayonnaise does say salad dressing. It has a bowl of salad on the outside of it. If I
Yeah.
recall correctly, that's the traditional Hellman's logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they both had, what is it? Oil, vinegar, and egg yolk.
You're making a weird face at me. You love mayonnaise. It's one of the things that is to me oddly the most counter to everything else, all your other tastes. You fucking love mayonnaise.
What? When do I say I like mayonnaise?
You like mayonnaise. Do you, Gavin? Let me ask you a question. Do you like mayonnaise?
Not really.
Do you like salad cream?
What?
No, not really.
Oh.
I don't.
I can bet you've said on this podcast before that you really like mayonnaise.
I don't have anything against it. I wouldn't choose mayo on anything though.
You really wouldn't.
No, you freaked out the other day when you got mayonnaise.
But it was pretty good. Though. I liked it. Mayonnaise is one of those things that I like.
What do you get on a sandwich?
what
For
do I
like
get on a
sauce? Yeah.
sauce? With like mustard or
Mustard.
something?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Did you always like mustard, or is it mustard acquired taste for you as you got older?
I don't think I actually tried it till I was like 15, but I liked it.
Kids fucking hate mustard.
Yeah.
It can get you in the nose if you have too much.
No, no
Like,
kidding.
especially like yellow.
When I was a
Coleman's.
kid, I absolutely could not stand mustard.
Me too.
Now it's fucking awesome.
I love mustard. There's
I remember-
something happens genetically when you hit like 15 that you can tolerate
always
I
mustard.
remember
loved it.
watching Grey
Really?
Poupon
Yeah.
commercials as a little kid, be like, I want to try that. Fucking gross. That's
gross.
like the worst thing
So
in the world if
gross.
you're a little kid.
They poupon.
What is Dijon? Is that like a horseradish?
Seems like it.
Tastes like it.
Yeah.
Does Grey Poupon even advertise anymore? It's a product that still
I don't think
exists,
so.
right?
Don't
Like,
know.
are they still riding the coattails of that fucking commercial from the early 80s?
Yeah. They're probably the same aisle as like Perrier. They're right there with each other. Now there's a bunch of other stuff. I'm looking for Hellman's logo. What were you looking up?
I was trying to see if salad cream and mayo were the same thing. People say what you said. It's a lot of the same ingredients, but they're different.
It's like made differently, or like it's oil
is it
and
backwards
water instead
mayonnaise?
of oil and something else. I forget
Yeah.
what it was. Like,
It's,
there was one little
it's
thing.
essentially the exact same thing, but it tastes a little different.
Yeah.
So
I was getting shit
in my
on
in my
for
book,
it,
it's
so.
the exact same thing.
And you would not have it.
No, I like mayonnaise.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I just wouldn't put it on my salad.
Did you have it on your sub in a tub?
No, God no.
Was there any fanfare?
There was no fanfare. So okay, I gotta defend Matt a little bit on this.
Because you ordered it just for that reason.
Yeah, so they ordered. I was like, I gotta see what he's talking about. So they finished, making. It's actually about this size. They finished making my sub in a tub, and then
you with it.
yeah, there's a picture of me with it. But they
So
they put it on
unhappy.
the counter, right? So it's like they're done making it. I'm gonna move up here for visual aid. They put it on the counter, and instead of just like handing it to me, they put it down and they just kind of like shove it at you.
Oh.
It's like that's it. It's like, oh, okay, like this.
As opposed to when you get a sub and they actually like give it to you with the
Yeah, I was like, it was kind of confrontational. I was like, this is a little awkward.
I
It
should have
was
brought
a
those
strange.
little like party thingies.
Yeah, who was? If it was you or Adam was saying that we should have a picture of them all super excited handing it to me.
Yeah.
Is it illegal to fire a confetti cannon in public?
I don't think it's illegal.
Maybe littering.
No, I got my thing backwards here. So Miracle Whip is called salad dressing.
Okay.
That's I would call Miracle Whip mayonnaise, wouldn't you?
That's what I thought
Yes.
it was the whole time.
Yes. So Miracle Whip, the stuff we call Miracle Whip, the retro logo is called.
Well-
it says on their salad dressing.
Well, that
What's-
explains their logo, the "Don't Be So Mayo," or their slogan. Remember?
Don't be so mayo. For whatever reason, they can't call themselves mayonnaise.
What's in Miracle Whip?
mayonnaise?
Salad
Like
cream.
mayo and something else.
I'll look this up. I'll look up we rely so much on Google. You don't even need to watch the podcast or listen to the podcast anymore. Just think of stupid shit and then look it up on Google.
Don't tell them we're gonna lose all of our listeners.
Is
We haven't
Miracle
done
Whip-
Gavin or Google in a while.
It's been a while.
I miss it. I haven't gotten to play for a couple episodes.
We'll do one soon.
Yeah, I hope so. We did Vines recently.
We did.
Some Valen Vines.
Yeah.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration requires that anything labeled mayonnaise contain a minimum of 65% vegetable oil by weight. Fucking
Wow.
gross.
Wow.
So gross.
Oh.
So gross. And though Kraft keeps Miracle Whip exact oil content a secret, the company confirms that it's too low to meet the mayo standard. Wow, 65%. At that point, you're just putting shit in there to make your vegetable oil spreadable. Gross.
Mayonnaise is good, man.
Oh.
Miracle Whip, not
I like
so
the
much.
things that people have to do to keep a product. Like they made it so you have to be truthful about your food. Like crab sticks.
made of ever.
Crab sticks have to be called seafood sticks now. Like, in the UK they do because they don't have crab in them.
Yeah, it's like
And those wings that you have here that aren't really wings, they just spell wings WYNGS.
What wings
What
do we have that aren't
wings
wings?
aren't wings?
There's like you can get pizza and wings or something.
Yeah, but those are real, aren't they?
No, that's why they spell it wangs.
Oh, they're the boneless wings.
Oh, boneless wings.
Oh,
They're just chicken nuggets.
wings.
Yeah, but they call them wings, but they're not wings, so they have to spell it wrong.
Right.
I love all
you
that.
you wouldn't want that part of the. That's not a good
They
part of the
spell
chicken anyway.
A lot of things in the States wrong. Like drive through, THRU.
No, that's just
Man.
an abbreviation. There.
Yeah, it's just I'm just constantly amazed and upset by the sheer amount of emails we get with stuff misspelled.
No, it's terrible.
Like people trying to do business with us, business emails,
Yeah.
Papers.
Papers.
all misspelled.
Purple.
There was a person who emailed us today
Heard the
who could
papers.
not spell the word interest.
I'm a purple right name.
It's like my dreams coming true. I can't talk.
Yeah, it's whenever
you
they
read?
want a job too, it's always you got to put your best foot forward. You never know. You never know.
I'm tempted to a lot of those people who write looking for jobs like that. I'm tempted to reply with their email rewritten the way it should have been sent.
No, you know what? The most
You should.
sometimes I catch myself off guard and like my normal civility is like not engaged that day. And like I went back and forth with somebody and I literally wrote like after the second or third one, because I said, if you're going to send an email looking for a job, you should really we have this information other places. And you should also really, I'm just letting you know, because you seem pretty young, you should really write a more formal, well thought out letter that actually has full words and sentences in it.
Yeah.
Just not like job. Can I get one? What does it take? Let me know. Get at me. And it's like, what are you come on, and then they came back and said, well, they always come back and say the same thing. Like that they're not really either. Everybody's dyslexic. That's the first thing they go back and forth, or they're just like, I'm just not really into writing. It's like, I don't know what that means. Like they're not,
Yeah.
they're too good for writing. And they said, well, what's it going to take? It's like, can you just give me an answer? I said, I really think your best shot, honestly, is to try this again. And your best hope is I don't remember this exchange. So it's probably better to stop talking now and so like start over fresh. Take what I've told you and like come back in like a year and hopefully I would have forgotten we ever talked about
Change your
this.
name, get a new email address.
I thought that was a very honest answer that I told that person because I know somebody could possibly take that email and republish it somewhere. But it's like, I was being totally honest. It's like your best bet is that the next time we talk that I don't remember we had this exchange.
What always gets
That's
me
how bad this is.
is the people who just write in one giant paragraph, no spacing, no anything. It's just like a clump of text. I was like, I can't even read that.
Here's what's crazy about it is that, Barbara, there's a little bit of a difference in our age. A little bit.
Nah.
So when I was in school, I did not, up and through like later in high school, I did not have an email address until very late in high school, very early in college. I could still fucking write. And there was no occasion for me to write. I mean, then we were always on the phone talking to each other. I never wrote anything and I could write. Now with the internet, most people's communication is written. Like people tweet constantly, they write emails, they make Facebook status updates, they're texting constantly. But somehow doing it more, people can't write.
I never thought about it that way. That's
can't-
really peculiar.
Why is that?
It's because they've gotten lazy. They're doing like internet speak. Like
Or
when
it's
you
like
text
shorthand,
someone,
everything's done as quickly as
you
possible.
don't learn how to spell properly because you're like, where are you going? Like spelled completely wrong
Yeah.
with letters and numbers.
The one that always my fucking red flag is always when people spell the word because, C-O-S. I don't understand that. Cause.
My
I don't want to do that.
least
'cause.
favorite thing is would of. When people say that, I'm just like, no.
Would of.
Yeah.
I
would
noticed that
of.
as technology has gone on and phones have become smaller, your gesture for a phone hasn't. People are on the phones.
So
People
Why is
prefer
that like
this.
I saw a thread or a post on Reddit earlier.
Gavin, hear me from you. I just be like, I was on the phone. Every time Gavin gets a text or a phone, if I dial him and he gets the ring, I know every time it's the same thing. What were you saying?
I saw a post on Reddit earlier where this guy said that his brother just got out of prison after being in prison for 10 years. And that his comment on people was, everyone is weird now. Yeah. Everyone is weird as hell now. 'Cause he went to prison before smartphones, and now he comes out, and this is the landscape for him.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that's a weird thing right there.
Right. Everyone's just like looking down, engaged in this little device in front of them,
If you're
not
near
actually looking around.
Any high school or college, that's what it looks like outside when people are walking around. Is everybody's just constantly in their phone.
The crazy thing is when you're out at a club. I mean, it's just like everyone's there doing that, or dinner with a bunch of people. Everyone's in their phone.
Yeah.
It's like you all went out together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you're like, who are they talking to?
You're with all your friends here.
Go with that person. Go-
Also, I think since phones, the human race as a whole has crustier anuses
go ahead.
because they just sit on the toilet after they've done pooing for too long. They're usually because they're just on their phones. No, what?
Do
You
you
don't agree?
say
What do you think that leads to crusty anus?
Well, I mean, people don't wipe quick enough, and it gets crusty.
No, that's why they have wet wipes. That's why they sell so well now.
Sales of wet wipes have gone through the roof.
That's an interesting theory.
Bat and phones.
crustier anuses?
Yeah, like the anal hygiene isn't what it was.
So this might be the weirdest way to lead in this conversation, but I found a new iPhone game that I like a lot. I was going to talk about it on Patch on Wednesday.
So,
Am I going to be on the Patch on Wednesday?
oh shit, I gotta figure that out. Yeah,
Okay. So have you played Threes yet?
I've heard of it. I haven't.
You
played
will
it yet.
like
What
Threes
is this
because it's
game?
basically math.
Yeah,
It's like rapid fight. Not really math, not really, but it kind of is. It's like a little basic, like adding the same pairs over and over again, but it's just like an OCD, like matching things and making them line up, and it's a lot of fun.
it sounds.
And
right up my alley.
I could sit here for 5 minutes and explain it perfectly, and you still wouldn't understand.
I see
gotta
lots of
play it.
articles about it. It seems like it's something that's really popular.
It's fun.
Someone was telling me about it recently. I forget who it was. Telling me I should check it out.
A lot of these iPhone. That's it right there. So basically, you like
Threes.
you gotta. It's called Threes because you have red tiles and blue tiles, and those are ones and twos, and you combine those to make threes, and then you have to match all those pairs together. That's lined up perfectly symmetric, or like chronologically, or however you want to say it. You'll never get it like that ever. You're usually like a whole board of those, and you're trying to like shift things around. Remember those old school like,
numerically?
numerically? Thank you. New chronologically.
I'm looking at it, and you're talking about it and explaining
They
it. and I
invented
have
the
no
numbers in
idea-
order in
You
time.
just have to rearrange them so they're in order.
I have no idea what
They
that
must
game
have,
is.
right? They must have invented numbers in order.
What do you mean?
Like, you wouldn't have invented 12 until you had 11 because you didn't need 12.
Well,
So
you're
they-
saying that a caveman was like, well, 5. Oh, wait. We can have less than this and more than this.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Numbers must have been invented chronologically. They must have been. Like, 10 didn't exist until 9 and 8 were there.
Like,
Because-
no, I think maybe 5 was the first number.
You think so?
'Cause they
Just
looked at
look
the
at how
hand.
many figures you have.
Why was
Oh.
Maybe it was 10. Maybe they looked at both at the same time.
Maybe it was 11 because they were naked.
No, because somebody said, how many fingers do you have? You say, well, let's find out. What's this? We'll call it 1. This is 2. Then have to work their way through
because
it.
one sounds like thumb?
Well, nobody would ask how many of something do you have if there were no numbers in place yet.
Do you think there's so many numbers? Do you think there's a number that like we can express but has never been used
Yes.
ever?
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
it could-
like not a crazy like over the top like
You mean by a
something
human?
something to the 23rd power, that kind of thing.
Well, a computer has had every number, right?
Has
But
it?
A human has not said every number.
I agree. Weren't you the person saying to us one time that less than 1% of the world has been seen by human eyes? Didn't
No.
you? Who told us
I thought
that
it was Gus.
on the
No.
podcast?
I remember this.
Somebody
discussion.
came armed with that fact.
and I think we were all strongly against it.
yeah,
Was it
What does
Jack?
that mean?
means that maybe it was Jack that less than 1% of the Earth's surface has been seen by human eyes.
I remember this. I got really angry.
Or it was like maybe less than 5%, but it was still like astronomically low. Just they were saying about the sheer volume of space on the surface of the Earth. Less than listen.
No, it was Joel. It was Joel. I
Was it?
remember this. It was fucking Joel.
all right.
Okay.
So this is
I
some-
believe that.
Did you guys see there was a Reddit thread last week where Total Biscuit, who's another YouTube gamer guy, hey, my Amazon package ship. Just want to let everybody know.
Nice.
He talked about what it's like to interface with an audience on a grand scale.
Oh yeah.
And he like went in like what it's like, what his day is like, reading comments, what that does to him, and all this stuff. And people were reading his account of it wasn't at all shocking to me. It seemed like someone who was kind of newer to the process to me, like he was working solo still, so he didn't have like a group.
So
of people.
what was it? I haven't read it. What is his overall feeling
It
about
was
it?
huge. You got to go back. He's kind of a verbose dude, so
So what's the summary? Like he doesn't like the.
he gets a lot of anxiety, yet he can't stop reading the comments. And then when he reads certain comments, like that he doesn't care about his audience, that just drives him even more mental. Because he all he does is sit around and like, and it's affecting his health, it's affecting his weight. I got the feeling that he was saying. But then people were asking like, well, what do you guys think about this? And first of all, I'd be happy to share my honest opinions of like dealing with people. I think we do that a lot on the podcast of
Yeah.
what that's like, and it's always an individual experience anyway. Like there's no such like that's the post that he made on Reddit. It's a fucking novel,
Yeah,
but it's worth the
Jesus.
read. I was going somewhere with this, and I forgot where the fuck I was going with this.
Well,
So I engaged in something like this the other day, where I got to be careful on the podcast, and the clearest example I can give of this kind of thing, the way it goes down for us is I did something really dumb. Is that I engaged in a straw man argument on the podcast, and we just did it again, where we were talking about somebody else coming on here and telling a dumb story about only seeing 5% of the Earth. Right after the Super Bowl, I was reading a bunch of posts, and I had a guy in particular, when I posted something about the Super Bowl, he goes, yeah, well, American football players wear pads and they're pussies. And I came on and I said that I was told that American football players wear pads and are pussies, and I was explaining why the pads allow you to hit harder. Well, because the internet at large doesn't hear the first part of that, and I'm like talking about someone in theory to them, they just think I'm coming out of like left field and saying that I think rugby players are pieces of shit and are not athletes or something.
You know, someone's gonna start listening to podcasts right now and just hear that.
I know, right? So it's like, so I had like a whole week of people saying how hard it is to play rugby. I said, never said it wasn't hard to play rugby. I just
We
said
all
it was,
acknowledged it was a very tough sport.
yeah.
Yeah.
In that same discussion.
One
Yeah.
of the toughest sports.
And it was just a thing of like just how hard that you're allowed to hit because you have pads. And just psychologically, you can fucking hurtle yourself at somebody else. And they're like, well, they stop every 2 minutes or, every 30 seconds. And it's like, we said that too, But it was weird. That was kind of a thing. It's like, sometimes it's like, I even after all this time of being in front of an audience, I will do dumb things like walk myself into situations like that.
Yeah, but that's not even that bad though.
No, it's not. But it's like, I
We've
know
all done
better than
that.
that. I
We've
know
all
better
done
than
Doing
that.
it long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you could, if that was affecting you can just not read the internet for a while.
No, it's true, but he was saying that he could not read it. But that's a very small scale, apparently, according to what he's dealing with. If you guys want to talk about something else, I can pull some snippets from this thing. From
Well, here, I'm going to read this while you pull those snippets out, because I definitely do want to talk
Oh,
about
by the way,
it
can I
some
read you a recipe for homemade mayonnaise?
no.
No, please don't.
1 large egg yolk, room temperature. I don't know why that's important.
It's actually really important.
Is it?
Yeah.
1/8 a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 3/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. That's it.
Yum.
If
It's an egg yolk and vegetable oil.
if it's not room temperature, like if it's too cold, it when it's emulsifying, when you mix it all together, it doesn't properly combine, and it just gets all clumpy and gross.
Well, how does it get white?
I think it's from the reaction of the egg white and the lemon juice.
Oh, so it's egg white, not yolk.
I thought it was yolk.
Oh, egg yolk. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the vegetable oil in the.
I think it's also like the incorporation of the air. I think if you make it at home, it definitely has a more yellow tinge.
Because oil is yellow and yolk is yellow.
Yeah, it's more yellowish when you make it at home.
Fair.
All right, here, I'm going to read this for real now. I want to remind everyone, this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by... Do you have any snippets there?
No, I can't find anything. Even though they had it up there, I can't find anything.
So Burns,
yeah, what's up?
we
yo?
did vines for
Yeah,
Valentine's
we did
Day,
vines, Valentines.
and we lost one.
We lost one.
The-
now
the-
that is
the-
not
the
the
fucking-
first time we've lost a vine,
That's
but
also the first time we pre-shot vines.
that is the first time we've ever pre-shot them because the app allows us to save vines now.
Yep.
And I think I have a really sneaking suspicion it's something I fucked up.
Really.
I feel guilty about it because you guys were off enjoying your Valentine's Day.
No,
I
don't
feel
think
guilty
was-
about it.
I don't think it was you.
It sucks. You think it was? Yeah.
What's funny is...
Sorry.
well, it's not funny. But you were almost late to the patch last week because you were filming those vines.
It's true.
And the one you lost is the reason you were almost late.
I know. It's covered
Yeah.
in blood.
I didn't want to give it away.
I
but
think
spoiler.
Gone.
I
6
think we
second
can-
spoiler there.
I think we can get it back. If you let me plug your phone into my crazy app, I'm going to salvage it.
We could just
Never gonna do that.
recreate it.
You,
Never
you want
gonna-
to see all his nudes too?
You know, not let you save from my
It was-
data off my phone.
He gave me his phone earlier so I could check. He was like, yeah, you can have a throw, but don't scroll too far up in camera
Yeah.
roll. All right?
He's like,
Just
go like a
stay-
healthy amount up.
Stay in the bottom third.
Just a regular amount. Don't go crazy scrolling. I got nothing on here. I would never do that. I'm nervous enough having this thing around me all the time just because there's a camera on every side of this thing basically.
Yeah.
And it's just broadcasting to the world at all points in time.
Well, there was that story about how the federal government was spying on, well, not only civilians, but they were spying on mobsters.
Organized crime. Yeah.
Right. And even if they had their phones turned off, as long as the battery was still on it, they could still hear through those phones.
Could they see through the lens?
This was pre-iPhone.
Oh,
So it was
man.
back when it was just like
Yeah.
flip phones.
So the guys who have their phones on the table, they just turn them on. It's like they're carrying around a bugging device for the government, basically.
So it's like the only way they could fight that was to physically pull the battery and separate it away from the phone. You can't do that now. Your fucking battery's in there.
I've heard too from people that they can activate those services you have in newer cars, where if you can call like roadside services and stuff,
So like
they can just
OnStar.
turn those mics on. Like people in the call centers can just turn those on and listen
Makes sense.
to cars.
Just don't do anything illegal. The world is fine if you're good.
You always fucking say that.
It's fine. I don't care if someone's listening to me.
You pitched a fit when one of your pictures got leaked.
I
Leaked
didn't.
from your Facebook.
He actually didn't.
I didn't
He
care
actually
at
did
all.
not.
Everyone
thought he would
Everyone
pitch a
came
fit.
busting into my office. Like, did you see what happened last night on the internet? I was like, I don't care. I put a picture up on Facebook. It went everywhere. I don't care.
Oh, I totally. that came to me that like, yeah, Gavin's really upset.
No,
about the Facebook
everyone's
photo.
That's the
telling me
way they
this.
were talking about
Everyone
it,
came up to
too.
me the next day. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. It's like, I really don't care. I put it on Facebook. Tons of people can see
Now,
it.
that being said, is you and I did talk about it, and I said, "Hey, I heard one of your Facebook photos got leaked." You go, "Yeah, it was posted for friends. Good to know who your friends are." Like this was like a litmus test. Like you're gonna be like cutting people off after this.
I deleted a bunch of friends, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
And
bunch
fuck
of
'em.
Like people who I only know on the internet and not in real life. Maybe 4 or 5 of them.
Gone.
Got rid.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think what's the longest
Brutal.
I've ever known anybody before I met them. Like the longest amount of time. Can't imagine. Probably somebody from the site, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I imagine that's got to be it.
I've
Yeah.
known Gavin for almost 10 years at this point.
Hey, high five.
Really?
Yeah.
Have I known you 10 years?
I
I
think I
haven't-
met him before you.
I met you at RBBTO 05?
Yeah.
So 9 years.
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
I don't know if it would count, but I wrote Richard Garriott when I was a kid, and then he was on the podcast
Yeah.
like 20 years later.
I met someone
That's
recently. I
crazy.
think you were there. I met one of the first people I ever emailed in the games industry.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. With place we went to
we-
go visit. Yeah.
we had that meeting a couple weeks ago. It's like, I emailed you. I don't know if I was like, I know you don't remember this, but in 1995, I sent you an email about this. He's like, oh, really? I was like, yes. I was like, I can't believe I'm actually sitting here shaking your hand.
Well, the story that always is crazy to me is Scene Anners. How he came to the Rooster's office as like a prize. And
Yeah.
now
He would win
he's-
contests.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That's
now
it,
he's
that's-
doing what he's doing.
If I recall the story correctly, the way he told it to me is he came. I met him at a Machinima party when he was still with Machinima. He's not there anymore. They did some party at the W in LA, and I met him there. And I said, "Oh, everyone at Rooster's is a huge fan of your channel. We see your stuff, love your stuff." And he's like, "This," and I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You don't remember me, do you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Have we met before?" Because that kind of thing happens from time to time. I said, "I'm really sorry. Have we met before?" He said, "I came to your office like 4 years ago because I won a contest, and part of the prize was to spend a day in the Rooster Teeth offices." And this is what apparently he did. He said, Jeff remembered this, that he came there with his girlfriend, and there was this guy who came and spent a day with us.
I remember his girlfriend.
And
So
he would always he talked to him about how he'd always enter contests. He goes, because there's always tons of contests, and like across all the contests that are ever put out there, not many people enter, all of them on average. So you can win quite a few, and you win like a contest every couple of months. And he won this one. I forget what it was even for. And and he came and he sat in our office. And if I recall the story correctly, that he sat in there a day, watched us do Machinima, watched us do some Achievement Hunter stuff, and that he left the office and was talking to his girlfriend, goes, that seems like fun. And so he did that and had a huge YouTube channel and started off from doing that.
Yeah.
If I'm recalling the story correctly, I'll have to get the actual.
I remember
story from that.
him coming. I remember that day because we were all shocked because the guy just showed up at the front door. I was like, oh, I want a contest. I'm here. We're like, what? And then we like looked
Maybe
it up.
he was lying.
Like, we verified it. We like
Oh.
called some people like, oh yeah, this is happening. Like, oh, okay. It was at the Congress office.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spent a day walking around.
In fact, there was a window of time when YouTube got big, and we still viewed them as a competitor essentially. So we didn't put any videos up on YouTube, and so there was a lag period there of like 2 or 3 years before we started really investing in our channel, which was number 4 non-music last year.
Wink.
And I remember Adam Scene Anners was one of the biggest gaming channels on all of YouTube. Still a huge presence. He's doing his own thing now. I know he's not with Machinima anymore. So anyway, we're big
Such a
fans.
crazy story.
Hopefully we'll come to RTX this year. He's been at
Yep.
RTX.
The last 2 years.
It was the last 2 years. He
Yep.
came. Yeah.
I think it'd be really interesting to see a map of the top 100 YouTube channels, and just you can pinpoint them on the earth. And I think it's really funny because you see where everyone is. Like channel number 7 is there, but if you go to Austin, Texas, you can see channel number 18 or 20 or something.
Not
Rooster
in
Teeth?
music or
What do you
music?
mean?
Just top most subscribed channels.
11?
Most viewed. We were 11 last year. Number 11 across all channels.
All right.
You want most viewed or most subscribed?
Subscribed.
I don't know subscribed off the top of my
I
head.
think we're
Yeah.
like 28.
We're in
Yeah.
the 20s.
I just like the idea of zooming all the way into Austin, Texas, and zooming all the way and even more to the point where you've got Rooster Teeth. I'm saying it's Jeff, just for the sake of it. And then Slow-Mo Guy is like 6 feet away from it in a different hut because I live like in his backyard. But it'd just be funny to see those two channels like so close together.
by
on the-
side like
yeah,
that?
they must be the closest two YouTube channels together.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in LA that work together. that are
Yeah,
not,
LA is a
Yeah,
I would say a big one.
office wise, I guess. But
Yeah,
that's
I know
residential.
Freddie W is like a stone throw away from Nerdist.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
be interesting for the some of that Twitter followers and stuff like that too. It would be really interesting to map that stuff. Well, your office would be if the slow mo guy's office is here essentially, right? I mean,
This is where I make my videos now.
yeah. So now it'd be like Bink and then right next to it. Although I
Bink
wonder,
and bunk.
Bink and Book right there. But it's funny because it's interesting the way you said that. So you still consider when you talk about your YouTube channel, you think about your home.
Just where everyone lives, basically.
You think about where you live.
Yeah.
Right? That's
I would
interesting
think
to me.
studio.
I never thought about Rishit that way. Like I never thought about even when it was at my house in my spare bedroom, I never thought about it as being like a home thing.
I was more just thinking of people, like your Rooster Teeth, I'm Slow-Mo Guys.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It's weird you wouldn't think of it as being your home, because I sure thought of it as being your home. Like, oh great, I'm gonna fucking get in my car and drive 45 fucking minutes to Bernie's house.
A map that I wanted to make was when Rishit first took off and we started to make money, Gus and Jeff immediately went out and bought classic trucks. That's what they went out and did. Those fucking things broke down. One of the two of them, the main purpose of those two classic trucks was to drive the other one to the other's classic truck wherever it was broken down. That's most of the time that they spent.
Do
those
you
things.
remember one time you and Jeff and maybe Matt had gone off? You had flown somewhere, but for some reason I hadn't gone on the trip. And you all had come back, landed at the Austin airport, and I was going to go pick you up. And I was driving Jeff's fucking truck. And the thing Jeff didn't tell me about his truck at the time was that the gas gauge didn't work.
Oh, so you had no idea how much gas you had?
So I didn't know. I was like, oh, I've got half a tank of gas. I'm going to drive from Jeff's house down to pick him up at the airport. Pulled into the airport, ran out of gas.
Oh my god.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was texting you guys like, hey, I guess I'm out of gas. I'm here, I'm literally on the airport. Like, you have to drive, from 71 to get out there. So I was like, oh, shit. Well,
Were
there's
you
gas.
at the terminal?
No, like I could see the terminal, but I wasn't there.
Oh shit.
So I was like, it's like where you make the turn for long-term parking. So I was like, okay, I texted them, I'm just going to go get some gas because there's some gas stations back that way.
Well, you're going to buy it in a
I'm
bottle.
going to buy like a fucking jug and everything. So I start walking out to the gas station. Cops show up. Like, fuck. They're like, what's going on, sir? Like, oh, I just ran out of gas. I just need to go to the gas station. My friends are, I just pick them up. So he's like, well, let's go take a look. He wants to make sure that everything's okay. So he comes over and he's, yep, you're out of gas. He's like, can I have your license and your insurance? He's like, well, it's my friend's truck. Here's his insurance. Here's my license. So he goes and he runs it. And he comes back and he's like, did you know your license is suspended, sir?
Oh shit!
And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, your license is no good. You can't be driving that truck right now.
Well, luckily I'm not.
And I was like, oh. He's like, let's go get some gas for that truck so that it won't be stuck out here. So he goes,
And let's get you a pair of handcuffs.
yeah, he takes me, I don't know why. He takes me to the gas station, I buy the jug, and you guys text me, you're like, we took a cab, see ya. You all fucking ditched me.
That sounds like us.
Why? Wait.
I don't know. I'm dealing with this cop. My license is suspended. I'm filling up the jug with gas. He takes me back out to the truck, and I put gas in the tank, and it still won't start. And so he's like, we can't leave it out here. We have to push it into the parking lot. It's summer. We have to push this fucking truck
Jesus.
into the parking lot. So we finally push it. We push it in a spot, stop it. And he looks at me, he goes, you're really lucky I didn't see you driving that truck. Otherwise, I'd be hauling you off here. He's like, go walk over to the terminal, get a cab, and get out of here. I was like, fine. So he drives off, and I'm like, I bet the carburetor just needs some gas. So I get some gas out of the cab. There's like a little bit left. I pour it on the carburetor, and it starts right up, and I drive off.
Wow.
So why was your license broken?
If he'd pulled you over, that would have been the tensest moment of your life. You get pulled over and he's just walking up from his car to yours. He'd have walked up and you'd been like, "Yep."
Like, it's stalled
Sorry.
again.
Yeah. Weirdest
Had to
thing,
test
officer. I had time to both reinstate my license and fix the vehicle.
Yeah, why was
I had
your
parking tickets I'd never paid.
Oh, so they suspended.
So that my license was suspended, but I didn't know that.
It's funny.
Oh well.
Whoops.
Live and learn.
I still
The
have
worst
never
part to me
gotten-
was that you guys just fucking left me.
Dude, I was so sick of those trucks by that point in
Guys
time.
just took
I
off.
was so sick of
It
those
was even
fucking trucks.
Jeff's truck. Even
know.
he took off. Even he didn't care.
Now, that being said, I'm making fun of them, but they were very cool trucks. They really were very, very cool.
That truck I had would be 50 years old now this year.
Really?
Mhm.
What'd you do with it?
It was
You
a
sold it?
1964. I sold it to some guy in Killeen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but after
Probably
I got
outside
married,
the airport right now.
after I got married, my wife hated the idea of that truck, so she made me get rid of it. It's a death trap. Those things are awful.
Don't you still have a truck
Yeah.
that you ever drive? Or
Sometimes it
Esther
gets
drives?
driven like 100 miles a year.
I remember the
You
first
picked me
time I
up
went
in
to
it
your
the other
house. I was like, "What
Yeah, I
is
did.
this? I've never seen this before."
Yeah, I got a little truck.
You
It's
do
cool.
not seem like the truck kind of person.
It's dinky.
I learned how to drive in trucks.
I don't know. You're always going to be in a Prius to me.
No.
It's pristine and
Nah,
clean.
I can see you in a Tesla, Gus.
Yeah. That's what I'll upgrade to next.
Yeah.
All
Tesla?
electric.
I got pulled over. I got a ticket finally.
In a Tesla.
In your Tesla?
Yeah, I was doing
speeding?
Driving a hippie car
50
in a red
to
state.
35.
Eh.
And my 11-year-old found the ticket. He's like, "What's this?" I said, "I got a ticket." He goes, "You speeding?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "How fast were you going?" I said, "I was going 50 and a 35." He goes, "Ticket says you were going 45." I go, "The cop knocked 5 miles an hour off." He goes, "You got lucky." I'm like, "What is this? Like, what is this?" We're standing in the kitchen. He's like holding up the ticket to me, and I'm like, and now every time we're in a car, he's like, "How fast you going?" I'm like, "Please, JD,
Oh
just
my
leave it alone. You're killing me." He just won't let it die. He's always like grilling me about how fast I'm going.
How could you not go fast in that car?
Uh,
It would be so difficult for me.
it's not so much the speed of the car; it's the acceleration. So it's easy like whenever it's like I drive. I think I drive worse in that car, to be honest with you, because I'll see like a little hole and it's like. Pew,
How does
pew.
it work? Because they have gears.
No, I don't believe it has gears, Gavin. I don't believe it does. No, it's a straight acceleration. So it's like the amount of acceleration basically that you have coming off the green light. You have that same amount of acceleration, like 50. You know, it's
So
like a
if you
straight
just-
line.
If you floor it,
Yes.
is your wheel all like going full speed right then?
Is your wheel going full speed? The best way to think about it like this is like think about a remote control car, right? When you hit up on that, you ever used a remote control car before?
Yeah.
It doesn't go like it goes pew, like
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's like it's not an engine, it's a motor. So it's just like electric goes straight to it. It's a different power curve to it. It's just like this zip as opposed to like combustion engine, which goes like that. You know. But that being said, the top speed of that car is not like it's like I'm not gonna get that thing up to like 130. I don't think.
You definitely got it up to 50 and a 35.
Yeah.
I definitely got up to 15 to 35.
Or 45.
And then he knocked it down to 45 for me.
Could they power a plane with that technology?
Could they power a plane with that technology, with electric technology?
Electric plane.
One of our guys has a little electric scooter. Like it's like a scooter that you push with your foot.
Caden?
Yeah. And it's got a little electric motor. I fucking love that thing.
Yeah,
That thing's awesome.
I pulled up to the office this morning and you were out there like having a powwow with him, fucking investigating that thing.
It's
It's so funny watching him ride that thing.
He's happy about it too.
Yeah.
He gets on it, it's like
He
it's
looks
like
so happy with
he
his
goes,
glasses.
he goes like this, he gets on it, he like grabs that grip and he goes, you can tell he goes, "Zzz." It doesn't make any noise. I almost ran over Gavin in the parking lot. Shay, it was this close.
that car, yeah, your car is silent. It's because he was sneaking up on me and then he was gonna beep right behind me.
I was just creeping
But
across the parking
you
lot.
drove through a puddle, which I heard. All I heard was something splashing through a puddle, and there was a giant car right behind me. And then he beeped, but it was
It's a dinosaur.
It was too late.
not as effective.
It was too late. Yeah, because it's like they say it's one of the you drive a hybrid, so your car at low speeds will kick over to the electric engine.
Yeah, I
right?
fucking hate it when there's people in the street.
Yeah, because
It's
they don't
awful.
hear it,
Yeah.
and they'll step right in front of your car. It was a big problem for hybrids when they first came out. People were stepping off curbs right in front of electric
'Cause they were too
cars
quiet?
because they're just too quiet.
In my neighborhood, I always look up and down the street before I step
Does
out.
it also
just because
become
there are so
invisible?
many fucking Priuses.
I bet that in
that
the
goddamn
in the
neighborhood.
future they're gonna add noise to the car for health and safety. They're gonna have a little speaker that goes
Car.
My favorite
Attention.
thing about your car is that it beeps when it backs up, but just for you.
I fucking
Like,
hate
what's
that. That's
the
the,
point of
worst thing.
that?
That's the worst thing about my
The
car.
beep is good for like a truck, so you could actually know it's backing up. Like people
Attention,
around
you. You're
it.
going
You are
backwards.
backing up.
Your backup cam is on, and you are moving backwards.
So all the people who are much better at cars than me are saying Teslas have direct drive, which makes the torque really high. And the kid says something like, or the guy says something like 500 pounds of torque. By the way, I call everybody kid online. I don't know why. Electric motors produce 100% of torque at all times, according to Thomas Hingle. T. Hingle 1 said that.
The more you know.
T. Hingle. T. Hingle.
T_Hingle one.
I was looking through my middle school yearbook the other day. There was somebody in my middle school. Her name was I say her first name was Monica. I don't remember her first name because her last name was Queer. Monica Queer. That'd be a tough
Queer.
name. That'd be a tough name to go through middle school with.
Yeah.
Queer.
Do you think she changed it?
Jordan Swears, who works for us, never thought about it. I must be like too old now to be in that like immediately make fun of someone's name. Like when you hear somebody's name, you immediately like, turn into like a pun or like some kind of like cat call or something like that. Yeah, but I never figured out that his name could be said Queers, and he got like tortured in high school.
Did he really?
He said that he got recognized the other day by someone running the Austin Marathon.
Yeah, because
I
apparently
guess, I guess he
What
lived.
does that mean?
he rents a house that apparently was like near the
Yeah,
trail
he-
for it.
Yeah, he lives right by where the Austin Marathon runs.
Yeah.
And he couldn't drive his car because the marathon was right there. So he walked to a convenience store down the street. And as he was walking back up, like he was trying to cross because there were so many marathon runners that he was like in the street trying to get by. And one of the runners was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Jordan?" And just kept running by,
That's really funny.
going down his way on the marathon. But I used to live, my old house I rented was on the marathon route as well. And I fucking hated the marathons because you'd be asleep. Then like 7 in the
You hear,
morning
like,
on
a
a Saturday
cowbell.
or Sunday, you'd start hearing a cowbell. You'd be like, "Oh shit, what's today?" Then you hear like the one solo person going, "Woo!" You're like, "Oh god damn it." It's like 7 a.m.
Oh my god. Yeah, I drove downtown during that day, and like all of Congress was blocked off, and I'm just like, oh, the fuck.
When I used to live in suburbia, it was lawnmowers, man.
Can't imagine it being on my road.
7 a.m. Saturday morning.
I'm surprised you living in the suburbs that there wasn't an HOA ordinance about hours that are acceptable for lawnmower use.
Yeah, it's 7 a.m. within the.
It's
hours
7 a.m.?
typically. Yeah, it would seem like 7 a.m.
I
today.
learned that the time that construction can start with permitted construction jobs in the city of Austin is 7 a.m.
What?
That's way too early.
Yeah. So,
On the weekends too?
oh yeah, anytime, 7 a.m. We one of our neighbors has been renovating their house for the past couple of months, and
That's the worst.
Yeah,
Bitches.
at 7:30 on the dot every day is when they start the hammering. I think they give us like the extra 30 minutes as a concession, as to be nice. But it's literally at 7:30 on the dot. Wham, 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 wham. Like, fuck.
The loudest place on the planet is wherever you're filming that day.
You hear every noise. That's why.
When I would film with Dan, it was Dan's grandparents' place in the middle of nowhere. There was like another house like half a mile away. But there'd be stunt planes going
Oh
over.
my God.
There'd be a horse walking by or kids on a trampoline somewhere.
It has always
horse
been a dream of mine to get my private pilot's license, have a plane, get in, and just fly by myself through the air. That would be awesome. Every time we film, I'm like, "You fucking planes!"
Yeah.
It's like, "You dumbass, get out
And
of
it's
the sky."
annoying because if it's a stunt plane, you're looking up. It's like, you're not going anywhere. It's like, and then he does like a loop the loop, and then he comes back around. It's like, go somewhere. Where are you going?
You annoying prick. Just want to get out a mirror and just like start blinding the dude.
Yeah.
if you
The
can.
amount of times I hear hold for plane when we're on a shoot is like
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, it was. I was looking at the flight path. In fact, where we're moving is perfect because they decommissioned the old airport and turned all the hangars into movie studios and film studios, and that's where we're moving. We're moving to the city of Austin property, which is like, if you had to pick a place where there's no planes flying over, it's the old airport. Like that's probably the safest place to go, unless they establish the flight paths and then they just keep them for the new airport. But I can't imagine they would do that. That would suck when they build an airport and you get a flight path right over your fucking place where you live.
Right.
That'd be horrifying. The call center, one of the call centers where we used to work, they're like half a mile from the airport. I don't know how they deal with that.
Yeah.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely awful. We were looking at a place once, another patrol
Yeah.
site to move to,
Yep.
and you had your Fog of the World on, and you saw the flight path was literally right next to
I was
that
defending now
building.
my
Yeah.
use of having it on a plane
Yeah.
and using it on a plane. That was free, by the way, yesterday. Anybody can download that for free.
That's helpful information now.
And it's also gonna be 2 days late when
Yesterday.
this comes out on for most people.
Go back
So
in
you
time.
know how
If you're watching this on YouTube, it was a week ago yesterday.
noise cancelling headphones, right? They have a mic on the outside, and they listen, and then they counteract that sound. By,
That makes no sense to me. It's just more noise, right?
well, they like, it's like sound waves, and then it does sound waves, and then it's just quiet.
It's like
That
two
shouldn't
waves that
work that
cancel
way.
each other out.
Yeah,
Huh.
but can you do that on a big scale? Like, could you put down a mic in the middle of a field where there's planes and shit, and there's all sound waves coming in, and then there's a huge speaker that just blasts out anti-sound? Could you have a peaceful?
But what if you had
environment?
feedback?
Oh, how great would it be to have that and point it at people, and all of a sudden they're just like,
Someone starts talking to you, and then they're like,
It's like a mute button.
yeah, you know, like a mute for a person. That'd be
I
amazing.
think I saw an episode of,
Sell it to parents.
I think that was like a 90s crime show where they had that or something.
That's
Really,
click.
really useful. I think it was called Bugs. You have Bugs? Probably not.
No. I've never heard of Bugs. Or that fucking video game you talked about last week.
Wiz and Liz.
Yeah. So last week also is talking about planes.
Sunflower?
After we left the podcast, remember we thought we saw a helicopter?
On the back of a truck.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
saw a car towing what we thought was a helicopter up 35. Just like a Buick
Yeah.
was towing.
It was ahead of us. We had to haul ass.
Yeah, we hauled ass to catch up to it. It was a Buick hauling an ultralight.
Oh,
up 35.
Yeah.
Which I've never heard of, but you said was
It's like a
like a
death
helicopter
trap.
made out of canvas.
It's a plane made out of canvas.
Didn't you
It's where rich people go
Very,
to die.
very good friend of mine. His dad died when we were in high school, 17. You know the guy. His dad
Oh,
died
wow.
when he was.
They should just make the outside of them look like a coffin.
The villain who was supporting the Crusher also died in one of those.
Oh, was it an ultralight?
Yeah.
When he says villain, it was actually a guy. So where I lived in Buda, what used to be ranch land, and in fact, they just put on Reddit. They put these little pygmy deer called dik-diks. They're African pig. Remember these things? These little pygmy deer. So where I lived south of Austin.
Sorry, dicks.
Dik-dik.
Dik-dik.
D-I-K-D-I-K.
Okay.
Dik-dik. That's what it is. I was.
What was it called? One more time.
Dik-dik.
There you go.
It's ranch land out there in south of Austin, like probably about 10 miles south of Austin. I used to live out in the middle of nowhere when Gus was complaining and his truck would go break down. And so they carved out this huge portion of the ranch land to build these houses, and I built a house and lived in it. I remember one time I was out there like watering my grass, and all of a sudden, this fucking massive herd of like 30 of these miniature deer this tall
Dik-diks.
come running through my lawn while I'm watering.
into
I'm
a vag.
What the fuck is this? I go, what is this? And I finally had to ask like some guy, like it was a developer guy. I go, this is fucking tiny little deer. He goes, oh yeah, those are dik-diks, because they would. The guy who owned the ranch land, he would hunt with LBJ, and LBJ liked to hunt. Lyndon B. Johnson, who's from this area, there's a little dik-dik. I mean, it's like, and they massive herds of these things. They're super cute, but that's what it
adorable.
is. Imagine being in your front yard and those things running all around you.
Is a male called a dick with a dick?
It's called a dick duck.
Gus, didn't you see someone trying to tackle a pony outside
Oh
of our
my
office
God.
the other day?
It was the weirdest thing. We were driving back from lunch. He didn't finish his story. You cut him
Oh,
off.
sorry.
Go ahead.
So he carved off the ranch land to build these houses.
Maybe.
Then there was like one half the range land they used for that. Then after all the houses were built up, and these were nice houses. I mean, it was like I had like 5 acres, and I didn't have close to the nice house in that neighborhood. There's a lot of people who built some nice place out there. Then after the houses were built, he took the other half of the ranch land, literally right next to his place, and built a gravel plant and hot asphalt factory. It was like, are you a fucking lunatic? It's like half the people that own houses in this thing were all lawyers or professionals. And the guy, it was this huge lawsuit. It lasted for fucking ever. And then in the middle of it, the guy wrecked a plane and died. And then it just all went away.
Yeah, he crashed an ultralight.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it was
yeah.
the villain, because whenever we would go down there to work on Red versus Blue stuff, there were all these signs up that the people protesting it had created that said, "Stop the Crusher."
Stop the Crusher.
And we
Rock
used to say that the Crusher sounded like a villain. It was like people were like trying to get a superhero to stop the Crusher from destroying their houses.
Crush off.
I mean, there were some people who was like, hey, we're going to sell your house. Then people like, a lot of like people were sinking their retirement money building these houses out there on this land. Like they'd have like 10 acres. He'd sell them the land. They'd build their house. And then he'd be like, oh yeah, like 2 years later, he's like, we're just going to like do some dynamite blasting about half a mile from your house. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? It's like, it was crazy. It was one of the weirdest things ever. So,
Oh, there's an ultralight.
yeah. Yeah.
So coming back from lunch the other day, we were driving here down the street, and there was an ambulance like pulled off to the side, blocking access to one of the streets, and its lights were on. And I said, "Oh, looks like something's going on here." So we had to slow down to kind of get around it because it was blocking the street a little bit. And as we were pulling around the ambulance, this SWAT officer, like in full body armor, carrying his rifle, like came running around the side of the ambulance. And if you look down the street, they had their like tactical whatever vehicle there, like their armor-plated vehicle, and there were SWAT officers running everywhere up and down the street. We were like, "Oh shit, something's going on!" It's literally like the next block over. And then as we're driving past, everyone in the car is looking out down the street at the SWAT standoff, whatever's going on, and I'm still driving. And then to the left here, on the left side of the street, there's a car pulled over, and I see a woman get out of the passenger side of the car, and like she's running after this horse that's next to the apartment complex over here, and she tackles it, like she jumps at it and like grabs it around the neck, and it's like trying to wrestle it down to the ground.
What a fucking badass.
I was like, what the fuck is going on over here?
But then the question is, are those related?
Are those related? And if not, what the fuck is going on? That those two events are happening at the same time, literally across the street from each other.
And why would you need a SWAT team
It's
for
like
a
the SWAT
pony?
team's looking over here for something, and this woman's fucking tackling a horse over here. And they're both like oblivious to each other.
Think about how the SWAT guy feels. He's like running up to this major catastrophe and then just sees some other woman tackling a horse. He's like, what is happening?
Today's
What happened to
crazy.
the planet?
It wasn't even like a full-size real horse. It was like a Shetland pony.
Yeah, I've seen that pony
Was
running
it
around.
orange?
No. It was
Oh.
like brownish.
Okay, never mind.
You
You know,
seen that
down
pony
down
rider?
Slaughter, like right before Brody, there's that white fence on the north side. Like it's some kind of in Texas. Sometimes you end up with like these ranch houses where they have lots of land and then the city grows around them.
Yeah.
And they just are like one of the last like private properties to give it up, basically. See it occasionally. There's one of those that's down Slaughter. They have a herd of Saint Bernards. They got like 8 Saint Bernards. You ever seen them?
No.
And they come up next to the fence sometime. It's really weird to see like a pack of Saint Bernards.
That's
Yeah,
on
that
Slaughter.
is weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's right before like the Taco Bell.
Do they have the booze around the neck?
No, they don't have the barrels. They're not like
They're
digging
just getting
people out
drunk with each other.
snowbanks or anything like that.
Okay. Well,
There's something I
We're
want
at
to show though. There's something I want to show. This struck me as really funny. Patrick, you got that photo that I put up? They released the first still image from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I did see.
Do you know
this.
anything about this?
An episode recently that you missed, Jack sat in that chair
and talked
tried,
about Guardians of the
tried
Galaxy.
to tell me why Rocket Raccoon was awesome,
This picture?
and I said this sounds like the dumbest fucking thing in the world.
Here's the picture of it. This is the still they released, exclusive photo. I think that was for USA Today. This is Guardians of the Galaxy. I took one look at this photo. You know what that photo is? That is a photo of how my mother described every video game ever. If my mother described a video game, that would be a picture of it. It's like there's a man on a spaceship and there's a talking fox and a lady who's green. That's exactly what she would say. I saw that and I was like, oh my god.
it
is that
looks
the-
like a low rent remake of Farscape.
What is that? What is
So is that
why
the
did they make a
Rocket
new
Raccoon
movie?
That was
thing.
Rocket Raccoon.
The
Did
tiny-
you see him? The raccoon with the fucking rocket launcher?
So who are the other superheroes there?
Wasn't there a guy who was like
Shit
small
Man
and,
and
he could punch
Green
stuff?
Girl?
Ant guy, was it? Ant-Man?
Oh, Ant-Man, yeah.
Is Ant-Man in that picture?
Is Ant-Man in that picture?
No, Ant-Man's not in that. Not in that.
He
What is
is,
Ant-Man-
but he's very, very small.
Does Ant-Man look like an ant? I can never
Is
remember.
Ant-Man one of the
No.
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Jack said so.
Oh, well, maybe I stand corrected.
Ant-Man might, he's a man, but he's
Who's
small.
the lead dude? Who
If
does
I could-
Chris Pratt play? Is he playing Hank Pym? Is
He
that
plays
the
the Guardian.
No, Ant-Man is Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd? No. So there's an Ant-Man movie coming out that's got Paul Rudd and it's Edgar Wright directing it. That I think might be two different things. I don't think Ant-Man is in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Ant-Man's an Avenger.
Well, I was
he's
gonna
also
say-
he's also Giant Man.
If I could choose an animal from planet Earth
He's all over the place size wise.
if I could choose an animal from the Earth to protect the galaxy, it wouldn't be an ant. That'd be the last thing I would choose.
Well, he gets small and he can
well,
mess up
it's an
stuff.
Ant-Man.
Is Ant? Oh, I learned the Division is going to be in the new Avengers movie, and that makes me fucking happy as can be.
The Vision.
The Vision, he's a
Giant pair of glasses.
no, he's an android who can walk through walls,
Oh,
basically.
Why is he called the Vision?
Because he's like a Spectre kind of a thing. So,
You
One-
need
one
glasses when
vision.
you do math because it helps with division.
but is Ant-Man a guardian
So
of
Ant-Man
the
is not listed in the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I don't think There's somebody's getting mixed up. There's an Ant-Man
Probably
movie
me.
coming out.
Is
Paul
there
Rudd.
also a
Star-Lord.
Black Widow
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
movie?
Groot, Gamora, Ronan the Accuser, Nebula, the Collector, Korath the Purser, Yondu, Roman Day, Drax the Destroyer. I can't read this.
Okay,
The Accuser.
Jack.
just walks around. It
They're
was
saying
you.
that Jack never. People are saying Jack
Okay.
never said Ant-Man was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
He said
Ant-Man's
something
an
about
Avenger.
Ant-Man.
Okay.
He was giant. He's Giant Man. He's in like the revisioned Avengers, which is kind of like what the movies are now. Like,
I'll
his
admit-
wife was also like the Wasp.
I'll
so-
admit I zoned out.
Yeah, I didn't care enough.
Yeah,
What?
I totally. But Guardians of the Galaxy is there's probably gonna be people who are like, I can't believe you would go after Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not what I consider to be a primary franchise and not something. Comic book movies are doing so well now. Don't fucking rock the boat. Let's hit all the heavy ones first, and then we go to the fucking crazy, obscure cult comics like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I don't want to see a Rom the Space Knight movie because there's going to be a massive flop that derails the whole comic book movie thing. It's
Right.
going to happen, you know? It's like when we start making video game movies, let's make BioShock, let's make Halo, let's make a Call of Duty movie, whatever that would be. You know, let's make all those, okay, before we start making like the Viva Pinata movie and stuff. Even though I love Viva Pinata, it's, you know,
I
it's
can't
not.
wait for the Fez movie.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Dude, I want the Peggle movie.
Yeah. Let's watch what's the one that everyone loves so much? Gone Home, you know. That'll be
That's already like a movie. All right, well, it's time to go. So come back, check us out this Wednesday for another episode of The Patch, and next Monday for another episode of RT Podcast.
Buy this shirt.
Bye.
Team Nice
Bye.
don't
Bye.